on time.
I'll just remind the audience what my question was.
No.
Hello, and thank you for. I just had to cut off.
Online.
You're not?
No.
It doesn't say that you work for me, but
It's not for me and I get the freaking app update, and it's not on watch.
Lover of Toad is watching.
Someone's watching.
Yeah.
Lover of Toad is.
Devon.
Are you sure?
Alright.
Yeah, this says we're live.
We'll give it a few seconds of awkwardness before we open with the answer.
In these few seconds of awkwardness.
Starting now. Hello, and welcome to Curriculum Back, the D&D stream that may or may not be working, run by college students and graduates who may or may not be paying off student loans. I'm Nathaniel, and I will be your DM for this adventure, joined by my lovely cast on screen and the fantastic people behind it.
Yeah.
So,
Look at the cafe.
thank you everyone
There's no gap
for
between
joining.
the staff.
And thank you everybody for following. We are currently affiliate bound, which is pretty big for us. I am waiting on being verified right now for this or that, and then they'll be able to tax us, which is not ideal, but you know, it's a thing we gotta deal with. If you haven't already, go ahead and follow us on our other stuff down below. There's a YouTube where you can follow with all of the previous episodes. Is that up to date-ish?
Oh, no.
It will be up to date soon.
Refreshing honesty.
And our Instagram, where we post mostly regularly about stuff that we're doing. That is mostly it, I believe, for my stuff. Does anybody have anything to say? No?
Do you want to credit our new character art?
Yes, and shout them out too.
Please do. Who?
Oh, yeah. What's her Instagram handle?
Jizz Draws?
Giz
I'm sorry. That is a completely different thing.
I have to one check mine, I
Guys.
My mind is always in the gutter. Always. It's not, but
We love you, Giz Draws.
we love
Please
you.
continue providing us
Here, I'll
content.
put her Instagram handle in the comments so y'all can see. Enjoy.
You don't know how to spell Giz
I'm just making sure I'm getting it right. What's wrong with accuracy?
G-I-C.
I'm just making sure.
So anyway.
So, with everything done, let's begin Battle for Echion Episode 7. Reflections.
Well,
I hate these pictures of myself.
So, last we left off, the found themselves once again in a new part of the capital. Traversing the busy streets, they arrived in the Copper Fang's territory. Bizuk, not seeming to pay enough attention to her hawk fox, Mist ran afoul with Brad, the tangerine salesman,
Best character ever.
assaulting him and destroying part of his stand. Blinking away, Bizuk left the rest of the party to deal with the mess that followed, which resulted in some healing and a bit of a payout, but nothing too severe. The rest of them, at least, continued through the city, where they met with the Gondolin men. That's what heard. I looked it up. Taylor and Tyler. After some conversation, Taylor steered them to a very popular tourist destination, Mural Street, which they learned was a gift from the Valentinos to the Copper Fangs as a way to strengthen their relationship. Finally, you arrived at the House of Words, a large cathedral at the heart of the Copper Fangs territory. Shelf by shelf, aisle by aisle, you search for books that would help you in your travels. Purchased a membership as well that would allow you to check these books out. After a false alias, gave you access to the more restricted section.
Anonymous. No last name.
No last name. Upon leaving, your attention was drawn to an alleyway where two heavily armored dragonborn beat another who refused to fight back. Coming to his aid, somewhat begrudgingly, you pushed the formidable opponents into the water where their armor caused them to drown. Yep. And then resuscitating them, the session ends with one of the paladins, vision still cloudy, watching as down the riverway, a tabaxi rides a centaur
Tabaxi's horns.
who's walking on the water's crest as a reef shark, head breaking the water, looking up as if trying to communicate with the tabaxi. And a small dragon swims next to the shark, as another, much larger, gold and black dragon flies overhead.
A black and gold.
Black and gold dragon flies overhead. All closing the distance on a gondola, steered by two very confused humans and a horned figure in the distance.
Who's the horn figure in the distance?
Artemis, the teacher.
Oh, I missed it.
And you return
To the boat.
to the boat
With Taylor and Tyler.
with Taylor and Tyler. We're just standing there watching this whole thing happen.
Hey Demetrius, can I have my ring back?
Your
My ring of water walking?
ring of water walking?
Yeah.
Oh, because you let me borrow it. Okay, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Slide aside, Kobe is working off debts, so he will not be here today, and we have our stand-in. Thank you, Julia, for joining us. Can you talk to Julia? The floor is yours.
I'm still a shark, so I can't talk.
Is there room for me on the boat?
Looking at it, it is a very big boat. If you get on it, it's going to be a bit of a squeeze, but you can definitely, maybe not for like tighter turns, but you can get on it. And
Okay.
kind of
I mean,
stretch
if
yourself.
I'm not gonna take that risk, I'm just gonna fly above it. Just fly with it.
Okay.
Have you given us your name yet?
Oh, I have not.
Okay.
Maybe
Alright.
ask.
What are the other two dragonborns?
So you have.
Yeah, let's just keep going where we were going.
Where are we going?
Where were we going?
I'm a shark, but if he could talk, he would probably go back
Go
to
back to
the
where
city.
we got the boat.
The copper fan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We need to head back home. I think.
Okay, is he gonna follow us?
I don't know what that. Yeah, I think so.
I believe the last thing that outside of this, the last thing that happened was that Demetrius was like trying to get information from me, and we were all like, maybe we better talk about this somewhere else before these two Dragonborn get up. So that's
Okay.
probably
Yeah, he's gonna follow along.
Okay.
Yeah.
As he's just the wings flapping above. Well, there's one more tourist place we can stop by.
Oh
Yes.
Wanna-
let's go.
Okay. Okay.
You're a shark!
You a shark, you
I'm a
can say.
shark.
Wait, can you breathe outside of water?
No, he
Oh.
specifically says the shark can only breathe out.
It's like sure
As
we
with
just
sharks.
met this new Dragonborn, but let's go see the touristy shit. You
Yeah.
know, why not?
And Taylor pats Tyler on the shoulder. He's like, all right, let's go. And they start moving the gondola again. At this point, the sun starts dropping as the boat ride continues. The luminescence of it kind of tucked away behind the tall buildings. Its glow only comes like between city streets. It's just moments of it, and then it's gone as you continue, and there's moments of it, and it's gone again. And as you continue, almost to the breach, you might enjoy it. The sun goes down a little earlier now, so it's the perfect time to go. And he continues on. And it takes maybe another 20-30 minutes before you get there. But you come out of a narrow passage, the boat barely fitting, and you see Tyler and Taylor, like, they're going much slower here, and they're being very mindful of the situation. And the narrow passage opens to a much wider street. And to your right, the breach. You see the black wall of the inner city, its daunting vestige reaching up to the sky, and here, there's a V cut into it. Beyond the V, you see the water continues, and it opens up to the lake right outside the capital. At this point, the sun is right between the V, and you see the light just kind of cascading over the water all the way up to the boat. And they both stop the boat, and you kind of just lean there.
Wow, that's beautiful.
A lot of people do like weddings and stuff around here. It's
I
pretty
can
cool.
see why. Yeah.
Nothing happening right now, but you know, some folk like it. Well, I guess we'll go then.
I'm thinking to myself, like, what does he want, a tip?
And he starts pushing the boat again.
Do we see anything else there? Just the beautiful.
Roll me in.
Can I help him out on that? Because I'm flying. Or can I just roll my own?
You just roll around. Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're underwater and you're in the air, so.
Y'all can see the
Do I just auto fail?
Autofill what?
Because I'm underwater.
I mean, you can perceive
You
things
look underwater.
underwater.
Do I have advantage because I'm airborne?
No.
I failed.
Okay.
Wait, are you doing investigation?
He knows it's low enough.
Perception.
Oh.
I got a 13.
Looking at it, you feel the warm glow from the sun kind of between your scales. It's very picturesque. As the sun begins to fall, it doesn't seem like anything out of the ordinary.
Sure.
Can I investigate?
What would you like to investigate?
I don't know. Everything.
Sure, roll me an investigation check.
This one's rolling dice. We got a friggin' 21.
21?
Yeah.
Alright, looking at Siobhan.
Wait, the mage one.
Yeah, mage one. You're looking at it and you notice that it looks more like a glove than a hand,
I
really.
hate you.
It's kind of like
Wait, give me more. It's 21. What do I look like inside of that glove?
you actually you tilt it and you can see inside the glove. Like there's nothing there. It's as if like this kind of phantom glove is being worn. And you kind of pass your hand through where your forearm should be and there's nothing there. You don't feel it.
That's
Excuse
tricky.
the fuck out of me. Well, that was a waste of my life.
And they start turning the boat around. That's it.
Ancient.
Sorry.
They continue to travel, and it's going to take you a bit to get to where they first picked you up. And Taylor asks, "So are you guys planning on going back to the capital, or back to the capitals after this?"
Yeah, we need to go meet up with one of our friends.
Just saying, because it's getting real late, so I could take you to the tavern or something.
Should we maybe do that?
Do what?
Go stay at a tavern for the night?
The oyster's pretty nice.
I feel like this will advance the story.
Sure, let's We've never been to this
Yeah,
before.
let's
Let's go to a
go
tavern.
All right.
Rav would agree. We should explore more stuff.
And you,
Yeah. Wait, am I reading? What else is happening?
would you like to be reading?
Yes.
Sure, you're reading. It's going to take you a while to get through it. But I'll let you read.
Wait, which ones am I reading?
Which one are you
Which
reading?
one did you decide to read?
Oh, do you need the list of all the books that we have?
Yeah, one of the ones
Okay.
is fancy.
We have classifications of demons, historical accounts of demonic possession, turning undead, accounts of lichdom, raising the dead, practice of exorcisms, frosted spell casting, home remedies to simple ailments, and poetry of the wild.
Ooh, read your poetry book. Maybe there's a poem about the Kraken in there.
I don't want to read
That's
right
just
now.
one.
Exorcism? Okay. We will get to that in a bit. You continue on.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely reading about necromancy.
Yeah. I figured you would be.
It's my thing.
Raising the dead.
Which one are you reading though? We got 3 necromancy books.
Raising-
the Dead.
Raising the
That's
Dead,
what I've
okay.
been reading, yeah.
I picked.
You got turning undead.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
But you're reading the Exorcism one right now.
Honestly, I can read like 3 at a time.
As of now, you can read one book. Because you're sitting in a boat reading one. Could you imagine having 2 of the books open and just like, yes. Yes.
I'm getting so
Do you
much
have a tail?
information.
Yeah.
You hold one of them with your tail, you hold one with the mage glove, and then one with your other hand. I think
my
it's in the
pants.
picture. You can have mine hold one too. You could have 4 books.
Wow.
You could hold 4 books. I don't know about reading 4 books. As you continue on, your wild shape is going to run out. I believe it's only an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your wild shape's starting to run out at this point.
Okay, I'm gonna hop back into the.
Onto the boat?
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of wiggle for a second and then
Flashing.
come back into a person.
He turns back into a drow.
Yeah.
Okay, do I see this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna swoop down and look at you, and be like, and then turn to everyone else and be like, is he with you?
Yeah. You didn't see him helping us fight those other
This one is with
dragonborns?
you.
Yeah, the one who came to save your life.
Don't speak to me, filth.
Oh, I'm the Phil?
Excuse me?
What the heck?
You have a drow in your company?
I speak in Draconic. Do you have a problem with our friend?
Do a hand thing. It's the signifier speaking Draconic. What's the hand thing? Alright, there it is. This is
Scary
Draconic.
scary face, in the bunk bed.
Would any of them know about that whole situation?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm gonna speak back in Draconic and be like, slavers, the lot of them, filth, evil.
Yeah, do the hand thing. Sorry.
Slavers, the lot of them, filth, evil. Why is this Draconic?
I don't know. I'm ruining a tense moment. Alright, go back to
I'm
the
sorry.
This is just terrible.
He's our friend.
Can I cut in?
You don't speak Draconic.
No, I meant
But
like.
you
You
can
can
cut
cut
in.
in, you just don't know what we're saying.
Where
I'm
I,
gonna physically put myself in between the two of them too, by the way.
Okay.
where I come from, we usually say thank you if you save someone's life.
Well, even a broken clock is right twice a day. We'll see
Okay.
what it is. We'll see.
Okay. I don't like this guy.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
As of right now, you're the outsider.
Everyone dislikes her.
What was you saying?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As of right now, you're the outsider here.
Oh,
He
don't get me wrong.
mentioned draw. Why do you? What's up with that?
I'm surprised you don't know. Maybe there is some to learn about you. Maybe.
I can roll that. See, I can roll that.
Tyler and Taylor just like,
Do they know? Does anyone know? Does anyone want to roll a history check?
Would anyone
Probably
roll
the
a
artist.
history?
why were you rolling history?
Because he wants.
No, just don't. Whatever.
To the tavern.
Well, while all of this is going on, you hear Tyler, who's the bigger one, kind of under his breath and starts saying siren.
Alright.
No, he doesn't make a siren noise, it's just like siren. And then
So everyone around?
you see Taylor kind of put his hand on his shoulder. He's like, no. Well, actually, we don't usually talk with people on board. But you know, it's just a legend. It's fine.
Is Artemis the only one that notices this?
She heard it.
This is all of you are talking, and Artemis, you hear this exchange.
Okay.
What?
I'm gonna
You didn't hear
ask
this.
on something.
Oh.
I'm thinking.
We were talking during this.
I think
Just
if
relax,
I think
it's
if
fine.
we do know there's gonna be sirens that come.
Wait,
so.
isn't he like freaking out?
You can see Tyler, when all of this was happening, in kind of the commotion of it, he kind of got a little freaked out, and he started saying siren, and then Taylor went up and like tried to comfort him,
So, are they like right next to me?
basically. You're like in the back of the boat.
And he said
Can I
that's
ask what's going on?
Who's who?
What's going on?
It's have you heard of the serpent siren?
No.
No? Okay. Well, I mean, it's actually roll me a history check. You might know.
After this, or is it not?
oh, I happen to know everything. Or
12.
nothing.
12?
Yeah.
Dude, you have a +7 for history?
Yes.
That's pretty baller.
What?
Haven't really heard much.
Oh.
You know, typically the serpent, anything that follows that has to do with Cerebessa. You know that she's historically been called the serpent.
And the plot thing.
But he goes, it's a legend during the genocide that followed the treaty. No, you don't. Okay. Basically, there was a woman here devout while all of you were going at it, devout to Cerebessa. You know, when they took over the city, Cerebessa saved herself, but she didn't save her followers. So the armies just killed them. And so she was screaming for aid, and the story goes, her hair turned to tentacles, and her legs became a serpent's tail. Just turned everyone to stone and swam off.
So,
It's a legend though. It's
yeah. So
Yeah.
why is he saying siren?
I think the commotion just spooked him. Right? And you can see, like, Tyler's kind of started to regain his composure again.
Can I just take thoughts?
Yeah.
Cool.
Who are you looking at?
Taylor?
Taylor? Taylor seems to, who's the young, or the smaller brother, he seems to be very, like, genuinely concerned, but it doesn't seem like it's something out of his control. Like he's able to calm down his brother.
Shift to Tyler?
Tyler, you hear the word siren just go over and over in his head, and it starts to get lower and lower.
Lower as in like.
Lower as in volume, yeah.
Oh, okay. Why does he default to saying siren when he's stressed?
It's a story that we heard as kids, and so, I don't know, I guess when stuff gets kind of stressful, it just defaults to that. I don't really know how to make sense of it, to be honest.
Am I still thinking thoughts?
Yeah.
So what is he thinking of some of this?
You see an image of a siren, how he described it, but it's kind of just like a floating image in his mind. Like, he doesn't have any background to it or anything. It's not like, you get the feeling that he hasn't seen it himself. This is just what he imagines.
Okay.
For anything else, you'd have to probe deeper.
Yeah, we're not gonna sort of fight on the boat right now.
That's what you get.
Okay.
And then that kind of finishes. Should we go?
To the tavern?
Alright.
To the tavern.
And he starts going again. You notice the sun drops at this point, and it's just kind of, you have moonlight, occasional kind of flames lick out of windows and such. Occasionally you also see guardrails. So it's the same sort of gondola look. One of the guards is driving it, and then there are two others standing just watching. Each of them has a lantern at the end of it, kind of on the nose of the boat. And occasionally, you know, the other boat here and there. You do end up passing the guard boat, and headed by the lantern, they all give you kind of a weird look. But they don't slow down. There's no other interactions. They just run by.
Can I look at the body language of Taylor?
Yeah.
13.
13? Taylor looks. You get the sense that there's like a little bit of kind of like he kind of bolsters up a little bit, just you kind of head down, make it look like he's not doing anything wrong. You don't get the sense that it's
Malicious?
yeah,
Okay.
just kind of like a police.
Yeah.
You know. As soon as the boat continues on, you see two dorsal fins falling. They each have a little gem in the dorsal fin, and it just falls along the boat.
Does only he see this?
Everyone who's down there. You probably don't see the dorsal fins, but you see the boat itself as it's getting darker, and they keep on.
Taylor, these gems that we saw on the sharks, we also saw them on the murals.
Yeah.
What did that mean?
I think it's like a enchantment of some sort. Probably helps with training the sharks. I assume in the mural the gem is there to kind of reinforce the idea of the sharks being part of the military here or whatever.
Can I speak with animals to the sharks behind me?
And they're trailing off, you can try.
Okay. Greetings, shark brethren.
They continue on. No.
Instant.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Continue on again. And you hear Taylor. It's not so much longer. Maybe another 15 minutes. And he takes. feel the boat start leaning to one side a little bit. And at first it's kind of like, and then you look back and you realize that Tyler, the larger brother, is reaching over, trying to touch one of the buildings. Looking at the building, it seems to be a sort of like forest setup that has flowers along the walls and everything. And feeling this, Taylor kind of smacks him on the shoulder. And he's like, ooh, hey, I told you, don't touch those. She's angry when you do that. I'm tired of paying for it. And then he kind of puts it down a little bit. It's like, look, we're running a business. You know, you want people to steal from us? No? Right?
Tyler, you like flowers?
And then Tyler kind of hears this, and he looks up a little bit, and this is the first time he's kind of looked up from the hat. And he sees you, and you just see him kind of look back down.
What's your favorite flower?
And the boat, he stops rowing, and then Taylor also stops. He tends to grab the purple ones.
I produced 3 of the purple ones from my staff and I handed it.
Just random purple flowers? What do they look like?
They look like the ones he just pointed to.
Okay.
Purple piranha plants.
And then you...
I bring them over to him.
Okay. You walk over to him, and his head's still kind of down. Seems to be hiding behind the hat. And you kind of bring the flowers into view a little bit, and his head raises. It's slow. And for a second, he looks into your eyes, and you see kind of a neutral to happy face just turn to terror. And he looks back down.
If he's not gonna take them, I'll just like place them right next to him, and then I'll go and sit back down where I was.
You hear him saying Tyler again.
Well, we just heard them say she's gonna be mad again.
He's just down.
That's what I was gonna ask, because someone owns that area, right? That shop where it is.
Did it look like he was like afraid of something specifically, or just like of making eye contact?
Tyler walks up and pats him on the shoulder, like, "Hey, you okay? You all right?" And he looks at you and he looks back. What's wrong? And he starts kind of like rubbing him on the shoulder. I mean, he typically doesn't really talk to people, but you all right? And he just keeps his head. He's looking at his feet the whole time.
Can I remind you of my danger sense? So just have that.
Remind me of what danger sense is.
At second level, you gain an uncanny sense of when things nearby aren't as they should be, giving you an edge when you dodge away from danger.
Okay, but there's also a mechanical portion.
You have advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects that you can see, such as traps and spells. To gain this benefit, you can't be blinded, deafened, or incapacitated.
That's the part that matters to me.
Okay.
Good. But
So I'm not either of those two. So.
Roll me an insight check.
Can I help him with that since I'm also?
You can roll separate.
It's a great fail.
Okay.
Dude, what the fuck is going on?
Is it a 1?
Yeah.
Insight?
Yeah.
24.
24?
Yeah.
I knew that.
Rolling a 24. You take a second and you kind of look at him and you sit back and you're just like trying to figure it out, and you look off and kind of peer into the water, and for a second as you look in the water you see a face that isn't your own. You see the hellish demon.
When I look in the water, I see that reflection?
Just for a second, and then it's gone. It's just a flash. And then you look back at your hand. Everything seems fine.
Do you have any reaction to this?
Okay, I'm just gonna go sit back down now.
That's your reaction to this?
Yes!
It takes a second, but Taylor's able to like calm Tyler down, and they start rowing again. It's a little slower than it was before. And you see the flowers as the boat picks up just kind of drift off the boat and fall into the water.
Oh. Okay then.
Do I notice that the boat is like going erratically?
It's not erratic, it's just slower now.
But I noticed that it's slower.
Yeah, you notice that it's slower.
Okay, can I kind of like come down and like sit on, or kind of put my talons on the edge of the boat and be like, is there a problem?
The boat kind of, whoa, shit. As the whole boat rocks.
I wrote
with
down
the
my weight somewhere.
adjustment of weight. Okay.
Yeah,
You start putting more effort into the stroke.
Okay,
here.
I'm gonna start flying again. I'm sorry, I made a mistake.
As he almost falls off the boat.
Can I ask him who she is?
Who is?
Well, he's like, she's gonna get mad.
Oh, the forest.
Okay.
Yeah. It's run by Val. Do you know Val?
No.
No. Well, she has very nice flowers. Alright. You get to a point where there's like a small dock, and the wood comes out a bit to where there's kind of a platform for you to go up on. And when you get up to it, you can see that hanging there is a clam. And it's like, it seems to have been carved out of some sort of wood maybe, and it's painted, the paint kind of peeling, and it's just floating on some sort of like chain.
Oh, what, a clam?
Clam.
Clam?
Yes, a clam. Well, this is the oyster, so we'll go ahead and drop you guys off here. You guys planning on heading out at a certain time in the morning? We can maybe try to meet up with you again.
Yeah, what time do we want to leave tomorrow?
As long as it takes to have a long rest.
Probably kind of early.
I think we'll spend the night and head out at daybreak.
Yeah, little daybreak.
Okay. Yeah, we can probably arrange getting here by that time.
Yeah, we should pay now though.
Yeah.
I would appreciate it, yeah.
Yeah, what's your fee for all of this travel?
Well, it's more of like a pay us on your adventure tab, you know?
What's the usual rate? We're new around here, so.
I mean, usual rate's 400 or 500 gold, real easy, right? Right, Tyler? So I just kind of.
400 or 500.
What's the usual rate?
You can tell us bullshit. I mean, it depends on your situation, you know. Typically, people tip what they can for people who are maybe a little more despondent and such. You know, a few coppers, maybe a silver would be nice. Or people with more money. We're just trying to make a living out here too. So, whatever you can spare, typically. I mean, it's been.
How much do you think?
He said a copper or a silver?
I think
He said
Yeah.
10 gold.
I think we should give him a gold.
8 gold?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Gold for a day of rowing. Whole day.
I'm just gonna say, outside of the game, he tried to pull that like taxi driver bullshit where he took the scenic route instead of like the direct route. So
Yeah, he's trying to give you service.
yeah, I'm again out of character. No, that's not what I said.
Well, with that, there you go.
Can I say one? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you go first.
No.
Are you sure? Okay. I was just gonna say, because in the beginning you said they were really just trying. You know, they had like some makeshift stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm just gonna say, you know, I respect the hustle, but I don't think you should try to change yourself for anyone. So just keep that in mind.
Alright.
Flink.
Wait, another gold?
No, that's the original.
Oh, the original gold.
We have to be more frugal.
Alright, so we'll see you tomorrow?
Yeah.
Alright.
3 more.
I'm gonna hop out, walk into this tavern.
The boat kind of.
I was like, we either give him a gold or an entire crate of oranges.
Tangerines.
Tangerines.
I'm gonna land on the dock.
You get off the boat, yeah, you land on the dock. There's people kind of around the outside of it, but it doesn't seem super busy. You can hear However, the inside might be a little different. If I can get audio to work.
How are people looking at me?
Hold on. Give me a second.
You're gonna have no sex. What was it? Rhaegeryon?
I'm just gonna call
Yeah.
him Ray.
It's a changing. It's a changing character.
Why don't we turn the volume up on the phone?
Oh.
Huh?
Can we turn the volume up on the TV?
Is this for the
That's
TV?
probably the TV remote.
No, just everything.
Hello. Hey.
Don't make it
We
too
are now in a crowded tavern.
Wow.
The outside seems to be.
That's the name of the song on Spotify. Crowded Tavern.
It's actually called Crowded Local Tavern.
Oh!
By Sword Coast Soundscapes. Thank you, Sword Coast. You enter, and on the outside it's pretty barren. The kind of like 2 to 3 foot sidewalk, which kind of shimmy along to get around this area. And you enter to a bustling tavern. Going in, you have to go in through these very small doors. It's a bit of an issue for Demetrius and your new friend here, as again these doors used to be windows at one point, but the water level had rose, and now they've had to kind of adjust the way these work. But after you kind of tuck your wings in and get in, and you, the centaur, and duck the whole front part of your body, you get in and it goes down and opens up. More than enough room for you to walk around. You notice in here, there's on the floor about a half inch to an inch of water. Just kind of along the ground.
Kind of figures.
Health inspector.
And you just kind of, as you walk around. The opposite side of the tavern entrance is where the most of the crowd is. And they seem to be gathered around some sort of table. And they're all kind of yelling and cheering for things. The rest of it is seating, and then there's a bar, or there's a barmaid.
How much water did you say was on the floor?
About a half inch to an inch.
So does she look half inch to an inch taller as she's walking?
Oh yeah.
Yes, your ring of water walking makes you slightly taller.
Yeah.
Okay, how are people looking at me? Is it like a jazz music stops type of thing, or is it just like casual?
It's not quite jazz music stops. The people at the far end seem to be very enveloped in whatever's going on over there. Everyone else, they kind of like they're talking, doing whatever, drinking, and then they look over and they see a dragon person and a horse person, and they kind of just sit back. And they're like, okay. You get a glass raised to you, and the guy kind of just turns and goes back to drinking.
Can I head to the area they're looking at, the table you said?
You were in there as well?
I was gonna turn to her and say, why don't you get us a table?
Can we stop
Raise
this?
the volume, please.
No, please, I can't do
Why?
this.
We have to do this.
Like, raise
He
a
made
hand.
the rules. He's God here.
Just like raise a hand or
Do something
something.
smaller. Do something smaller. That's less impressive, at least.
Zod. Give him a Zod.
Zod. Go get a table while I'll join you in a minute. And I'm gonna go over to where I can order food.
I don't know if anyone at home can hear you.
Go get a table. I'm gonna go and order food. I'll be there in a sec.
I'm gonna. Raph, where are you going?
I'm headed to the see the commotion.
Okay.
Moose boy.
I'll go follow you.
Okay, so
You fall that way, or you today?
Follow.
What is Demetrius doing?
I will stand on the edge and survey the room and keep an eye on him.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay.
With your special eyes.
14.
14?
Give us Boblin the Goblin.
Actually, I'm gonna go just get a table, I guess.
You go and there's a table you think big enough for most of you.
Alright.
Maybe not all of you, but most of you.
Okay.
Good
enough.
And you sit there. You, Artemis, and it's just you two now
at the table?
that are going to the table.
Yeah.
I thought it was you.
I'm just gonna go get a table, but I'm gonna keep an eye on everyone.
Okay. You two walk up to a table made of stone. And looking at the stone, it isn't the same black coral-like stone makes up the outsides of the buildings. This looks like something that was brought and made in here. And it's honestly, it's more of a fountain than a table. Looking at it, it's kind of like a pool table would be, and you can see kind of chutes going into it. And there's a layer of water, probably 3-4 inches deep, on the top of this table. And then there are the raisins, and there are these glass, about 1 foot kind of barriers beyond that. So you have to kind of look in. The glass at this point in the day is smudged, looks like it's been touched. It smells a little bit like alcohol. But you're looking in, and as you're able to kind of push your way to see, you hear someone say, "Go!" And at that point, each hole in the corner sprouts kind of this rainbow of fish. And they're small fish. They're probably about this big. Each of them a different color. And they all go up, and as they're up, you see from the water some appendage, a tongue maybe, shoot out and pull one down. And all the fish land in the water, and as soon as they land, they start jumping out. And it's just kind of this rainbow of color. As from the center of the table, you see coming out, there's this lizard, almost frog-like creature. Probably only about this big. And it sees all the fish, and it pounces, grabs one. And it looks over to the side, and there's another fish, and you see the tongue grab it and pull it back. And he's just starting to eat all these fish, and everyone's cheering around it.
I'm gonna turn to the person next to me and say,
What the fuck?
what kind of fucking game is this?
You ever heard of jump guppies?
No.
No? Really? Well, you see, and it's a human, a little older. He seems to have kind of like mostly a beard. Seems it's growing in kind of patchy. And he's like, well, you see, you bet on a color, and if your colors makes it to the end, you double your money. If you don't, you die. I think they're gonna start another round after this.
If
Can I
you
whisper?
don't, that you die?
No, they die. You don't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I whisper to Raph?
I know what you're thinking. What?
What were you thinking? What are you thinking? I'm thinking.
That you want me to speak to animals?
Oh no, I'm just saying we should save the little.
Okay, yeah, I want to save them.
I mean, talk to them if you want, but I don't think they're smart enough to. They're small brains.
Okay, I'm gonna wait until the round is over.
Okay. And it goes on for like 30 seconds, and these fish are just hopping out. And you see, it's this frog. Again, it's like this frog lizard kind of thing. It has a tail. You can see that it's more amphibious, and it's just like jumping, grabbing fish. From there, it shoots the tongue, jumps, grabs another fish, and then at the end of the 30 seconds, you hear as the water gets sucked out, and all the fish get pulled with the water, and then it slowly raises back up to the 4-ish inches that were in there before. And then the animal kind of looks around and just submerges itself.
Cool. I'm gonna speak to the animal.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, you must be living the life. Free food, no complaints.
Do the rest of the people playing this game see him talking to the animal?
They're at this point, all the people around him.
They're taking bets, right?
Yeah, they're getting money. Some of them are upset. Some of them, everyone's kind of. It's a good time. And they start kind of laying down bets for the next one. Everyone looks very, very much disposed at this point. What do you say again? Sorry.
You must be living the life. You know, free food, no worries.
You get the sense that you are correct, and it's perfectly fine with doing what it's doing.
You know what they do to the frog at the end of the night, right?
Doesn't seem to quite understand.
And I paint a picture of the bar, everyone's gone, like I plant that image in his head, and them taking him out and killing him, and then eating him.
Roll me a deception check.
Crit fail.
Okay, it's your eyes.
You know why? Because I was using yours, and they know it.
Yep, you betrayed your
I have to apologize in public right now. I apologize. Never again will I be
Yes, that's real.
Never again will I be unfaithful.
No, he wants to keep with his
See?
friends.
Away from your work.
It's okay.
There are more dice being handed to him off screen. So you say this, and while it's going on, you start kind of leaning more and more into it, and you see as the tongue hits you on the nose. And it's like, oh, you kind of wipe it from your face.
Interesting.
That was a quick fail.
That was my quick fail.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shall we play?
Bets. Anybody? Who else? What colors we got?
What
He's
colors
looking
are
up.
there? There, you said there's 5 of them, right?
There are 12 different colors. Pick a color. I bet it's there.
Blue.
I'm not there. Don't look at me.
You pick blue. How much you want to put down?
Nothing. I was just saying, I want to pick. I don't know. I feel Wrath is really conflicted right now. He wants to play. Daniel wants to play.
Yeah, I was like, why are you playing?
Oh, Brad just got
Hey, you
booped
wanna
up,
see
Raz.
them?
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Can I see this from where I am?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna come over and be like, oh, what's this? I'm asking you guys. What's this?
A fucking nightmare is what this is.
Is this a game or something, or?
Yeah.
There's water. There's water on the floor, right?
Yeah. There's about a half inch to an inch.
I can break the glass. And would it, if I broke the glass, does it look like it would like?
Why?
The glass, the water, the level inside the tank doesn't come up to the glass. There's like another kind of step, and then the glass starts. It looks like the glass is there more for when the fish jump. They don't jump out. They jump, they hit the glass, and they go back into the water.
If you were to transform, I just put you in the thing.
He gets
Wait,
eaten.
why do you want to do something?
I'm not going to.
Because I mean, if we're practicing
Hey,
to 10,
does Rhaegeryon
like,
hear any of this conversation?
If you're looking, you don't hear what's going on, but you can see what's happening.
I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to walk away.
Wait, do you have a problem with this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, can I just
we're not
say-
playing?
You guys can play. I'm not going to.
Thamir would have loved this. He would have been like, I can transform into a fish. Thamir would be like, yes, do it.
You could have rigged the game too. You could have convinced the frog to not go after.
I was thinking that too, but I just didn't want to play. I wanted to though, but Daniel wanted to. I was just gonna tell the fish to like stay down.
Swim down together.
Play. Wrath, you know you want to play.
Daniel wants to play, alright. So
You don't have to play if you don't want
I'm
to.
gonna walk away.
Okay, you walk away. Does anybody else want to play?
I'll play.
All right.
Thank God. I still want to see this.
Is there a pink one?
Yo, you should just
There's
roll.
pink.
Ask for a
You
peace
should
one.
roll a
Ask for peace one.
d12, and then just like that's the one that gets eaten.
That's totally not what I was gonna do.
Is it really?
That's how this game works. Well, since you gave away what's going on, also pick a number
Pick a number 6.
from 1 to 12. Okay, 6.
That was exactly what I was thinking.
I would like everyone at the table to roll a d12.
Whoa.
Yes.
Oh, D12?
Yep. I like d12s. You don't
This is never used, bro.
No.
Well, no, because we haven't gotten to that level yet.
Don't change it. Just leave it where it's at.
Please don't let me be the one. I'm cursed.
Okay, we'll go around the table. What did you roll?
1,
All right, you roll the 1.
2.
You see, as soon as they start go, they all jump out, and like before the blue one even breaks the water, it gets grabbed. And then there's another one. It's like kind of a greenish kind of striped one, and that's the second one to go. And you see your little pink fish.
Yeah, go Pinky, go!
Wait, did you bet on blue?
No.
He didn't. I was the only one that bet.
Pink, and that's it.
As soon as it breaks water, you see.
No, Pinky!
Wait, was it if any of us had rolled 6, it would have.
It would have killed it, yeah.
What type of odds is that?
Because it hits 30 seconds to try to
It's
kill
gonna
someone.
eat like 10
I guess,
fish,
sure.
yeah.
No.
Well,
I
we
was
bet
also-
the minimum. Right?
Yeah, you never asked me.
We'll say minimum.
bet
You
one
got
copper.
a silver.
I bet a silver?
I got a
Okay.
silver. I'll give you that.
Take that off of your tab. That's not me.
Oh, well then we should charge you for the share of the gold?
What gold? What did I do?
Oh, so wait, you don't have your share of gold then?
I do have my share. Oh, but I mean, Thamir died, and apparently no one bothered to read his will, so.
No.
I don't know where that gold
I'm
went.
still planning to do that. Like that whole barrel thing, that's before we leave the capital. We haven't left the capital yet.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the typical
Yeah.
stuff. Okay.
And that's important. I
Yeah,
told you
I know
to do
that. I know that.
for a specific
Yes,
reason.
I
Can I
know.
play again?
You certainly can. How much you
Oh
willing
my
to bet?
god.
Alright, let's
We're
bet
gonna say
another
the
silver.
silver is the least you can bet.
We'll bet just another silver.
Okay, another silver. What would you like
Pink.
to play on? Pink? Number 6 again.
Yeah.
But we barely make our money back, so bet 2 silvers.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're gonna
two
make
silver.
4 silver.
By the way, Daniel, your life is an actual degenerate gambler, so.
He's a degenerate gambler.
Alright, everybody, go ahead and roll these balls.
I was safe for all.
The most popular band
So-
in the world. C12.
Top side third, Will Craig. Did you choose 6 again?
Yeah.
Fucking please. Can you roll?
You want the dice tray?
No.
Whoa.
D12.
Whoa. 5? Okay.
Is it just me?
Just you.
Come on, baby. I didn't mean to hurt you.
Are you kidding me?
There's some bullshit.
Go! This is game start.
Bro, it's not you that's being unfaithful. The dice is unfaithful. Take his bag. Take his bag.
Can I roll for him?
Game starts.
Why have this
Now
happened?
on.
And you see a little. It's like a black fish with like kind of white spots to it. And again, as soon as it's released, it's grabbed by the tongue. Next one is pounced on, and you see in the exact same fashion, the pink
Come on,
fish
Kiki.
breaks water. And as the creature goes to bite it, it seems that the pink fish might get there, and then the tongue goes. And
Aaron, let's bet a goal. Get to
Oh my god.
I swear to God, I can stop whenever I want to.
Are you sure that creature should bet a goal?
Yeah, bet a goal.
Okay, you better not fail me on this.
Okay,
Okay,
Ryan's gonna walk
one
up. Ryan's gonna walk up.
Number 6.
Number 6, gotcha.
One whole goal.
Can I
So
just say
are they like all they jet out like at the same
They
time, or
all
is it just
jump out at the same time.
Fahimir's watching from the
Alright.
afterlife like,
Alright,
This is
we're
the
ready
last
for
time I
this.
swear.
You're not even the one betting, you're making me bet. Alright, here we go.
Go ahead and
oh
everybody
my
roll.
god. Are you betting on the pink one again?
I knew it should have been.
Stop betting on the fucking pink fish!
As soon as the pink one comes out, it's the first one grabbed.
Alright guys, I have to stop. I have to stop.
Alright, minus 2 silvers and a golden
Oh
silver.
my
Hey,
God.
Toby from the office, you have to stop.
You know, it's just how you can balance the party. I get too much gold. You just don't do this all day.
Dude, okay, we spent more
like
gambling
games.
on the gondola
Their own
ride.
money
That was
around.
an all day thing.
Yeah, we're scumbags. So.
Hey, okay, I went up to
Don't worry
order
about
food.
the
Can we get to that?
You are at the where the barbecue is.
Yep.
There's a trident standing there.
A Triton?
Yes.
Okay. How do Dragonborns feel about Triton?
Indifferent.
Okay, that's fine.
Her dark green hair kind of falling over one shoulder.
Her, you say?
Wait,
No, I'm
is
just
this at the bar?
Yes.
Okay.
Old habits.
We'll have a second.
Her hair is wet at the moment. And you notice that her uniform, while tight fitting, doesn't cover much.
Oh lord, the Satan's temptation.
And as you walk up, hey there, looking for a room?
Not at the moment. Just trying to get some food. What type of meat you have?
Meats? We have fish.
What type of fish?
Do you have a preference?
What's the biggest fish you have?
Biggest fish we have? Probably rock salmon.
Rock salmon. How much for one?
For a whole fish.
For a whole fish?
Only back 2 silvers?
I will take 10.
Subtract that from your own money.
Raw if you have them. I'm a dragonborn, like I feel like this is
Yeah. Anything to drink, maybe? She starts writing down your order.
This is 2 gold. Please take out 2.
2 silver.
For 10.
You got
2
10.
gold. Yeah. Just what's on your
Pitcher
altar?
ale?
What?
Pitcher ale?
How much for a pitcher?
Pitcher? Whole pitcher? Another maybe 2 silver?
I'll take 5.
5 pitchers.
Let's say 3 silver.
So
What table is
I
sitting
don't
at?
watch
So it's 3
What?
What table is sitting at?
did you get a table or no?
No, I did, but then I went to go gamble.
Bro, you guys make a great first impression.
It's like colorful
Can I see an
fishes.
empty one?
Only perception check.
Oh my god.
While he's doing that, do the people that are gambling, they look pretty preoccupied, right?
They look
Nat
very-
20 to find an open table.
You find the openness table.
Yes. Is it a booth?
It's a booth. It's a booth perfectly rounded in the corner.
That one.
Yeah, we'll bring it right to you.
Yes.
The people gambling, they look pretty occupied by the game. There are down moments, like while they're kind of resetting stuff, but while the game's going on, they're all there.
I'm gonna look over at Wrath, give him my little look, and start walking over there.
Alright.
Is Wrath responding? No.
You give me your look? Oh, were you gonna steal something?
Oh my god.
I feel like everyone always asks me permission to do something. You guys can do whatever.
You're the one that was always saying no.
Boss,
So it's like,
apparently.
alright, so I'm gonna walk over and be like right in like the middle of the crowd, like right behind people where they're like all looking the opposite
Yeah.
direction of me.
Nice.
And like right in the middle of it when they're all like cheering and everything and going wild, it's super loud. I'm gonna try to pick some pockets.
Roll me just pockets in general.
Okay, well, do these people seem like they have like coin purses or like where's their
A
money at?
party
Roll me
member
an
has
investigation.
died and she hasn't learned her lesson
Investigation?
about this.
Okay.
She has such good it's like almost impossible for
19?
Yes.
Nothing. Looking around, there seem to be a few people with a little heavier pockets.
Okay.
So you start going for those. Roll me sleight of hand.
Yeah. That money, let's make it all back.
14?
14. Right.
I rolled a 4 though.
You start going through pockets, and something's happening. You kind of dip in, pull out 5 silver. Other things happening. You see the fish peer up almost over the edge of the glass, and then get grabbed. You lift another 2 gold out of another pocket.
Nice.
Hold up, he's not done.
Yeah, he rolled 14.
And then you reach into the pocket of the man in front of you. And as you're kind of just feeling your way in, you don't even need to look at this point. As you're going over, and then you feel a hand grab onto your hand. As if he was going for his pocket at the same time. And he just turns around and sees you.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. I almost just so
I'll try to put your hands. And he kind of pulls the coat over and is back into the game. That's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go walk over to my friends. So I think I made the money back.
And then some.
Yeah. So we made some money. This is how I gamble.
Yeah.
It's better stakes.
Life or
Better
death.
odds.
Yeah, I'll take a plus 10.
For real.
Hey, it's better odds. I usually make more money this way, so.
And you go back to the table, and you see the woman, barkeep. She's helping another guest, pouring a drink, and then she goes, and you just see her kind of walk to a portion, and then drops.
Whoa.
She goes into the water. It seems into the floor, and she comes out.
Wrong lever.
And she comes out, and you can see there's a bit of kind of weight to this as she pulls out the 10 rockfish.
10 rock of the biggest fish.
They don't even fit on the platter itself. She's kind of steadying it on her shoulder and her hand, and you see her lift it up. And one of the other waiters kind of comes by and helps her stand up. And she's like, no, I'll deliver this. And walks over. In tow, there is another man. Looks a little bit younger, and he's carrying pitchers in his hand. And only has 4 of them. So when he walks by and she sets down the fish, she puts down the pitchers, he immediately bolts off to go grab another one. Would that be all for you?
Yes, thank you very much. And I'm gonna just. Is this the girl that brought
Yes.
over? For your trouble, and I'm gonna give her 5 silver.
5 gold tip?
5 silver. Yeah,
5 silver,
tip.
sorry. And she
5 gold.
tucks it in.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Tucks it in.
Tucks it in.
Nice.
And walks back.
Okay, so I'm gonna start. Are they all sitting at the table?
They're all making their way back, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start eating, but what I do with the fish is that every time I bring one up to my mouth, I kind of do like a little fire breath, kind of cook it and then eat it.
Alright.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
So this will...
It's like Uncle Iroh when he was like drinking the tea.
Oh yeah.
And you all eventually sitting around in this booth.
I think you owe us an explanation.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over that.
Yes, of course. Feel free to help yourself to some.
I'm gonna pour myself some ale. So drinking it.
There are no cups.
No cups? Okay, I'm just drinking one of the things of pitchers of ale.
Wait, is he saying free fish?
Yeah.
Free raw fish and ale.
Does Artemis like sushi?
Do you want to eat a big?
I'm going
No, like the
on
two
fire
plates from Haunted
completely
Mansion.
and burn my body.
If you want?
Nothing's gonna attack me. It's only if something attacks me. Oh wait, is magic allowed in that tavern? Fuck it! What if there was a fire?
What does that mean?
Do you light yourself on fire? You can.
What does that mean?
Is that
How?
gonna burn the whole booth on fire?
No, it's only thing attacks me with a melee attack.
Okay.
No. I didn't cook it. I just wanted it.
It's a 5 feet melee attack.
I would argue that if you were on fire and you rolled around in hay, you'd probably light the barn on fire.
Okay, yeah, I want that too. But
what?
yeah, I mean, I'm
Can you just have, like, the mage hand on fire?
That
fish
has
just
an
like-
explanation.
What do you say?
Just with your whole body.
I'm sorry that he
I
said
just
it's
think
the
it'd be funny.
racism.
So never mind.
That has an
Can you
explanation.
just have your mage hand catch
You'll
on
get to
fire?
it.
You see Artemis sit down with you,
Yeah.
and you're kind of like blowing the hot air, the flames as it burns the salmon. And you take your bite, and then Artemis kind of grabs a piece, and you see her just go.
Jack, no!
And then it drops.
Whoa.
And everyone at the bar is just like.
I'm just kind of like with holding a fish with a bite taken out of it, like.
And then they continue with what they were doing. But you're now all sitting here.
You want to start with your name? Any day now.
First
Yeah.
things first.
I think it's time you told us what the heck is going on.
Are you standing or are you trying to sit down? I'm gonna stand over it. Okay.
If a centaur could sit, would it sit like this? Or would it sit
Well,
like
can a
this?
centaur sit in a booth is the question. You're kind of just like leaning onto one side.
Or just kind of like has the horse part standing up and then puts the human part like on the table.
That's just worse.
I actually do have a question. So horses don't like lay down to sleep; they sleep standing up.
Yes.
Why?
They're
They
bodies
physically-
aren't-
they
they're not
Yeah.
built to be up and down. Yeah,
Like
they're-
cows
they're
are the same way.
But
That's
like,
why when the horse breaks its
They
tail,
also
shoot it.
wouldn't
Yes.
so what's
be
do
able
they?
to run away if somebody like tried to attack them and they were sleeping.
It's just their anatomy. It's all their-
Indeed, where we learned about the biology of animals.
That
Yes.
just doesn't sound like feasible. Like I'm sure that they lean right at different parts of the night.
Wait
I
till-
think
No,
it's
so
not
what
the
they-
body
like, I know, like-
type,
Wait till you hear
Yeah,
that
there's-
sharks swim in their sleep.
That when they turn their brains off, right? Half of their brains.
Well, they have to keep
If there are
people
any
suffocated or
equestrian
something.
Those are
experts
dolphins. Those are
in the
dolphins.
chat, in the chat specifically, please let us know.
If there are any,
Okay, so anyways.
that's the horse surgeon. Okay.
I'm just looking.
Firstly, I would like to thank you all for your help in the alley. You didn't need to do that, and I recognize that.
Raise the volume because they can't hear you.
I'm sorry. It's hard to do the deep voice, but also speak loud. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Okay.
get real close to the microphone.
Hello,
ASMR
mama.
it?
No.
No. Okay. My name is Rhaegeryon. Some people call me Goldeneye, for obvious reasons. And should I describe my character in more detail now?
Yeah.
Because I haven't done that.
Oh
So
gosh, there's a written thing.
no. There's just a picture.
Okay.
So now that you're closer, you can see what I was talking about with the black scales, but there's like gold in between the scaling. You also
For the viewers at home,
yeah,
yes.
if you just check my Instagram.
Follow me.
Follow me on Instagram. No, I'm just,
You can plug your social media at the end of the episode.
yeah, I'll do that later. Gold horns, and I've got like a giant ass sword on me. It's about like that thick. like
It's girthy.
that long. I've got like 2 spears on my back. I've got like giant wings. And my eyes are indeed gold. So got like almost something. So I'm gonna continue. I originally come from the trench. That area of the Dragon Empire. A while ago, I had to leave for conflicting reasons. The rest of the Dragonborn there.
Take off.
Whoa.
Nice.
Do I have to make a check against that?
Nope, none unless I probe deeper. What is he thinking about?
What
Good, I'd ask you.
are your immediate surface thoughts at this moment?
I am thinking of home. Because I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
So
I don't want the conflict. No service house there.
do I say it?
I mean, you can
Whatever.
say the surface. You
Surface thoughts?
Surface level, yes.
Just,
I-
it can be like an image.
Okay, so
Images.
I've never done this to one of you guys.
the
so I'm
emotion.
Like really excited.
Yeah, this is weird. The emotion is that of
Oh, yeah.
not fitting in
I blushed and I cried.
for
Just
one
kidding.
reason or another.
I'm like, I stopped. I'm just like, represent. Respect.
Are you out of his mind now?
Yeah, that's
All I
fine.
have are
I mean,
negative
but I have the power
thoughts.
to go back if I wanted to. Just.
Well, what I was going to say is if you wanted to continue the connection, I would say just continue to talk. And anytime your emotion changes, make a note of it.
Oh, okay. It's on.
Okay,
Want me to just turn it off?
Cerebro is on. I wasn't exactly what the rest of my clan wanted me to be, so I had to leave. And before I left, there was these weird things that started happening, and now what I'm feeling is kind of like a mix of curiosity, a little bit of fear about something that may be, I don't know if afflicting is the correct word, but some internal force.
Wait, what?
Yes. That's what I'm telling what I'm the
Okay.
feeling, the thought.
But like, there's but like, okay, like, I'm not sure, like, what did you mean, like an internal force?
No, it's not
cause
hard for
these
me
good
to
things, or you feel like.
I'm
you have an
sorry,
internal
you are not
force?
detecting thoughts, she is.
But like, that sentence doesn't make sense.
Internal force. Yes, you've been here for
Surface.
force internally.
Surface level.
Yeah. I mean, like,
You're giving me a lot for surface, to be honest.
emotions are up to
The person
up to
feeling it.
interpretation. Yeah. So
I'm just trying to
you're doing good.
Yeah,
be
yeah.
vague. Okay. For the past couple of years.
Sure.
Check. Checking the canon. For the past couple of years, I've been roaming Echion, looking for answers. And as you saw, they've been following me.
Why have they been following you?
Let's just say where I'm from, being different is not accepted.
How are you different?
Can I ask
Are
you
you
a
thinking
question?
about it?
I was gonna ask you a question. Can there be mixed races when it comes to like Dragonborn specifically? Like I can be a half human drow, but that's different.
Yeah, the different biologies. It's hard to tell what races can breed. Typically, with beast races, the answer is no.
Okay.
Or it is typically dominated by, like, the genes are dominated by the beast race.
Okay.
You wouldn't know specifically for Dragonborn,
For sure.
but that's kind of what we would know in general.
And then the two that you saw in the alley, they were paladins. And in the trench, it's born a paladin, raised a paladin, trained to be a paladin, and for some reason or another, that just didn't feel like me. And I rejected this, and now I'm here.
Why did they want to bring you back?
Custom? Tradition?
It's up to you, dude.
I mean, I'm
You-
trying
you
to.
said that-
You have a thing worked out. I don't want to disrupt that.
You said that you
do-
were
Okay.
outcasted. Why, if you were outcasted and you were different, why would they want you back? Didn't they say
No,
something about punishing
I
you?
wasn't cast out. I left,
You left
and they wanted to bring me back because leaving is
to make you
frowned
into a
upon.
paladin, or
Yes, essentially.
how old does he look?
Scaly. on a scale of 1.
For Dragonborn, it's really hard to tell. From what you may know, older Dragonborn, their scales tend to dull.
Do Dragonborn shed? Please.
I'm pretty sure anything with scales sheds.
Anything
Yeah,
with scales
happens.
sheds.
Sure. What?
But the scales begin to permanently dull as they age. As far as physically, like their posture may change, but there's no clear signs of it. The only other thing, maybe, is you can see kind of in the eyes, like the age.
Does he seem like early adulthood, middle, late?
You could just ask.
I'm not just gonna be like all of you. I just
Roll me a
want-
perception check.
okay.
Do you want to know how old I am?
Sure.
So,
Perception. Do I do it?
What?
So since this is technically a wisdom thing, I don't get my advantage thing, right? Because it said on intelligence checks for humanoids.
Yes, this really was.
Okay. Perception. 17.
It's really hard to tell.
Okay. All right.
That's all I can tell. There's definitely no very clear signs of old age, but other than that, it's
His
hard.
scales look brand spanking new.
They look clean.
It's a little baby dragon.
shiny gold. And then the last thing I'm gonna say is I'm gonna turn to you, and I'm gonna say, you're an interesting figure here. I take it you don't know what this is.
I wasn't raised traditionally.
Interesting.
But I think it's time you explain. Or this isn't gonna work.
So you really have no idea the history of the Drow and the Dragonborn?
I'm only half done. Detect ops.
Yeah, I was like, when does that end?
There's a certain level of hatred, resentment,
Okay.
and a little bit of
Dare you say it?
confusion.
Confusion.
Yes. Let's just say if you met a Dragonborn that wasn't me, you'd be having a much worse time right now.
Did. They drowned because I saved you.
And I thank you for that. For that, you have my trust until you lose it. And don't lose it.
But you don't have mine because you're not telling me why you have animosity towards me.
I think I've said all I need to say. Drow.
Well, it seems like you didn't have a normal upbringing. You didn't become what your people expected you to become. That's many of us here. We're not what you might think we are at first glance.
Yes, that much is apparent. So perhaps once we get to know each other better, you'll learn more. Maybe I'll tell you more. But for now, I think you understand we've only just met.
I just keep drinking my ale.
I'm gonna pound back a whole pitcher.
Roll me a Constitution save. You hold it down. A whole pitcher of ale.
Yes.
So I watch him, and now I go because I kind of want to throw up. I want like it to be funny.
All right, go ahead and roll a Constitution save.
Baby.
You drink a whole pitcher of ale.
No, the dice. You're rolling the same dice for this.
Hey, I have faith in you. All right.
Do you?
Always.
Let's go.
This some bullshit.
Con save. Con save.
What's your modifier?
Does it matter?
What did you get?
A 2.
2
Okay.
plus.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I have to weather the storm.
Remember that bad juju I was talking about that one time? It's coming back.
I feel like it's because I betrayed them. That's why. But yeah.
Amen. So you start drinking.
Wait, the 2 total?
No, he
No,
rolled a 2.
I rolled
He
a
didn't even want to look at his
It's
modifier.
2.
Yeah, okay.
You start drinking, and you're pounding it back, and you make eye contact with him, and you get the whole thing, and you drop it. It takes you a second, and then
Can I just like?
Are you on the end?
Can I just like? Can I do this one?
yeah.
Was it too? Like literal projectile. Dude, I did that once in my entire life. Legitimate, like.
What way were you looking at the time?
I'm sorry. It wasn't so bad.
Hey, you said this table was huge, my man.
It's a whole gallon, might I remind?
Roll me a dex save.
Dex save?
Dex save. Danger sense, you have advantage or some bullshit.
Oh, yes. I'm kind of looking at you about, like, I kind of look at him like and I'm like, okay there? Okay, dex save with advantage.
With advantage. I'll give it to you.
It's a good thing that was with advantage, boy.
What was it?
Nat 20.
That's funny. As the vomit comes at you, you're still holding your pitcher, and you just you catch it in the pitcher.
So it ricochets off to someone?
No, it just goes into the
He
pitcher.
just has
and
a
you
pitcher
just
full of vomit now. Is it the whole gallon?
No.
Okay. Like half a gallon.
We're dude perfect, and this is the vomit catch.
Oh, God.
And you catch a good like quarter of a pitcher of vomit.
Okay.
Oh,
It's just straight out of his
Do I
body.
take anything?
Roll me.
I should take some, like, at least 3 HP, like, just because it's disrespectful. It's a shame damage.
You did not want it.
Take 10 shame damage.
Oh my
Why did you
god.
ask? Because we're gonna take a rest soon.
I just felt like it was funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Good roleplay. Good roleplay.
And then an additional 2 acid damage.
2 acid
Acid
damage.
damage from your spell coming out.
This is fun.
Does any of it spill out?
Like, it's not
Did it
projectile
get
the
on the
entire
fish?
time. A little bit was on the fish. Yeah.
Woody, that's
It's
so-
just one of the pieces of fish, but still. And you feel a little. You're a little quaky.
I'm gonna pick up the one that the little bit of vomit got on. I'm gonna look at it, and I'm just gonna kind of take a claw, and just cook it with the breath,
Alright.
and then be like, "You want this one?"
I'm okay. I took a lot of damage, yeah.
And you go ahead and get up. And the waitress walks over like, what the fuck?
Yes, ma'am. My friend here has a bit of trouble holding down his liquor. I'm gonna need some. Can we clean this up, please?
Rath, you wanna go take a nap?
That was good liquor.
Thank you.
I'm gonna kind of pull out like 2 silver, be like, "Could you clean this up?"
No problem. She goes ahead and takes
Ready
it.
to start down?
Yes.
Would you like a room for your friend?
I think we could use 2. How many people per room?
There's just one large bed. You could probably fit
One bed?
3 people per bed.
Okay.
How much is a room?
A room? It depends. Would you like the aquatic rooms or the non-aquatic rooms?
Non-aquatic.
Non-aquatic? Those will run you 3 silver a night.
I'll take a room.
Where's Maisie?
I assume he didn't. Oh, sorry.
Maisie is still cast.
Yeah, Maisie was
outside of
on
the
the
bar because they don't allow.
Yeah, I wouldn't take Maisie inside of a bar. That's not a.
Yeah, well, because usually Demetrius sleeps with Maisie, so I don't know if you want to room with us.
Maisie is Demetrius's spectral horse.
Disgusting.
So then, what
Well,
other room too?
Since we're done with this,
What
I'm
other room?
gonna
Put
go
on the
check
chat.
on Maisie.
Connell put on the chat, but
It
disgusting.
was what, 3 silver?
3 Sylvias.
Okay.
And she kind of pushed down the halls. Would that be all just the 2?
I think so. Yeah.
So how many rooms total?
2 is what they have.
One for everybody else, basically.
Everyone else is staying in one room.
Because
Yeah.
somebody likes to sleep on the roof, somebody likes to sleep in a tree. You know?
Well,
Okay.
I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
walk Wrath back to the room with us.
Before we all like.
Wrath, let's go sleep in the bed.
Before we all disband, I'm just gonna kind of say like, I'm very grateful of what you all did in the alley, and if it's not too much trouble, perhaps I could stick with you guys for a while, see how it goes.
For now, I suppose.
Fair. I didn't get any of your names.
Well, I'm Lazura. That one there is Wrath. Demetrius, Artemis.
Does Artemis make that face?
Yes.
Deserve.
Yes. And
Yes.
that right there is Milo.
Milo's a dragon, right?
Milo is
Is it
dragon.
Dwayne?
Does he speak Draconic?
He understands common and draconic. He can't speak it though.
Yeah.
What?
Understand.
I understand.
I'm gonna say in Draconic. Hello, friend.
He's like,
Can I try to profist?
yeah.
Roll me an animal handling check.
Oh, I think I. Yes. 19.
Just go.
Nice.
Roll fist, any dragon fist.
And this one, I'm sorry.
It's not.
not
Who are
there.
you pointing to?
This one. Oh, she's not there. I totally forgot.
She
I
totally
totally forgot.
ditched this
X-nay,
whole
X-nay.
session. Get back to you, I promise.
I totally forgot about that.
As you're heading back to the room, roll me another con save.
Oh, jeez.
I'm
Well,
helping
looking at
him walk back too, by the way.
You're helping him.
Fuck, dude.
Please don't throw up on me.
8.
Take his dice. Take his dice.
8 total.
Roll me a dex save.
Oh my god.
Dude, I'm gonna say 10 more.
Please. For the love of God, take his dice. Please.
Nat 20.
Oh my god, take his dice! Everyone but you're dragging us all down!
What do you even have on you right now?
Me?
Right. Raz is kind of steadying himself. You have your arm around on the shoulder to help him up. And as he starts to, you just see it and you just.
You what?
I covered his mouth.
So I take 10 acid damage for sure.
You keep walking. And at the end, you just kind of like wipe your hand off on his chest. Put him to bed.
Oh my god.
I'll just take the ring of water walking up real quick and then brush my hand in the water.
And you try to put the ring of water walking on, and it just stays on the top of the water. You can't get it underwater to clean it.
Wait, what?
The ring of water walking, you can't take it underwater.
No, she said
No,
you
I
took it off.
take the ring off so that I can put my hand under
Oh,
the
you put your
water.
hand in there. Okay, so
Yeah,
and you
because
clean up the hand.
so I can clean my hand up and then I put the ring back on. Yeah.
And you go ahead and.
But before we
Yeah,
kind of like
go ahead.
separate into our own room, can I like pull her aside for a second?
Oh, well, I'm still helping him get into bed.
Oh, okay.
so-
I'm all ears.
yeah. Is there like a trash can or something?
I'm kind of standing by the
Yeah,
doorway.
there's a trash
Okay,
can.
yeah, I'm
there.
gonna bring a trash can and I'm putting him on the. It was a big bed, right? Just one big bed.
One big bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him on the edge of the bed.
Gotcha.
Put a trash can right there. Wrath, just trash can right here if you need it.
Well, roll me just a general check. Just
A general
Cool
check.
check?
A cool check. Roll me a cool
Check.
check.
Please.
Roll me a cool check.
Bless the cool.
Has anyone seen Major League here? The movie? No.
Maybe that sounds familiar.
Oh my god. Are you fucking kidding me?
Roll the 2 again.
Another 2? Okay.
You have not rolled above a 6.
4 in this entire.
No, you rolled a 6 on the d12. That's the highest you rolled.
If you count the d12, yeah. I'll hang on to that.
I'm cursed.
Oh, what's going on? What's going on over here?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't have money on me, by the way.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna switch them out. I feel like that would make things worse.
It's just a bunch of dice. You two want to talk for a second?
Oh yeah, I'd be like,
Are you coming into our room?
no. I was just standing at the doorway, and I look at you.
Okay,
I'm
I'll see him.
You go out to
Yeah,
grab the trash
okay.
can.
Yeah.
And in the con.
Can you just like put a hand up or something?
So
Raise
you-
a pencil up.
You walk out. You walk out of the of your room,
I'd be like,
and you go and ask for a trash can, and you have the trash can, and you're walking back, and you see them standing there.
when you're done, can we talk outside for a second?
Always playing with
In the hall, whatever.
Sure, give me a second. And I go put the trash can. Wrath, here you go. And then I go back.
What are you doing while this is happening, Artemis?
You want to just go lay down in the bed and make sure Wrath is okay? It's just one room with a giant bed, so yeah. I guess we're getting close tonight.
Can I read?
Yeah. Roll me a. Which book are you reading again? Sorry.
Exorcisms. How to do them.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Roll me a general intelligence check. Don't add anything to it.
What is that?
Just your intelligence.
What is that book from Evil Dead? The Necronomicon or whatever.
Right.
The book from the Evil
So don't
Dead.
add anything to it, right?
The Necronomicon.
You read into it and you feel the sleep taking you.
Yeah,
And
that's fine.
before you get a few pages in, you.
Thank God. I have like if it's in a different language, I can't. I have detect languages, so never mind. It didn't matter. But
All right.
Okay.
You go ahead and walk out and standing there.
The drow that you travel with, you trust him?
With my life.
That's interesting. It's the first drow I've met. We're taught not to trust them. They're evil by nature.
Draconics are taught to be paladins. I mean, Draconics. Dragonborns are taught to be paladins.
Yes, you have a point. By the way,
If you stick around-
do I know about Tabaxi?
You know in general about that there are cat people, but no details.
I'm gonna take a claw. By the way, I should be like, how tall are you?
I'm like, what am I, 6'1", I think? I'm 6'1".
It's a beautiful height, honestly.
Thank you.
That's his
I'm
height.
6'1".
That's a beautiful height.
You get inspiration. Just kidding. Go ahead.
A D12?
No.
That's not if I roll a 6,
Dude, you're
I'd fuck
actively
it up.
shot now.
Okay, thank God.
I'm 8'2", so I could represent this. I'm gonna take a claw and I'm gonna kind of like dink the horns.
And I'm gonna reach up and grab you.
Can I roll a check for that?
I'm gonna say that she's able to grab your hand.
Is her hand able to stop my hand?
Are you going to
Are you
force your
doing
hand
it
down?
forcefully or?
No, I'm just gonna kind of.
Then
She
yes,
saw
you
his
can
toe
stop.
change, like, no, I'm just gonna, push it out.
The horns, they normal for someone like you?
If you stick around long enough, you realize none of the people in this
That's a
party are-
very suspicious answer.
Good night. And I walk away.
You
Good
open
night
the
to you.
door and walk in, and you see on the bed there's a fish flopping, or rat used to be.
I knew it. I was lucky gonna do an animal transformation. Maybe.
That's what you have to failing your cool check. And you have to like walk
I
up.
try to like.
Yeah, you start
about
slapping the
it.
fish.
Well, this is the same guy that lasted almost to the end of a drinking game,
Yeah.
and now he's like one pitcher.
Oh man, I just hit him hard.
Yeah.
Hit him hard.
It's been a while.
You were staring into the eyes of a
You
dragon.
smack the fish enough that it pops back into wrath.
Okay.
That sucked.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be hard to breathe.
You feel the air rush back into your lungs.
Let's do that again.
You all find sleep this night and wake up fully rested. Was there anything you wanted to do in this time?
I should have been thinking about it.
That we're in water.
I'm just gonna go home and try to pretend like everything's normal.
Nothing
Roll
to see
me
here, folks.
a deception check.
From police. No, is it Police Academy or is it Naked Gun? Nothing to see here, folks. We have a whole building exploding in the background.
Oh,
Right.
that's gonna be good.
You go home after in the last session. You went up and saw your injured father and left him a note as he was kind of waking up, essentially telling him that he should have been more forthcoming with information about what he does. And you go back home, and there are moments of reflection with your younger siblings there. Your mother is working just pull the whole fucking table. Your mother's working the shop the family owns basically the entire day. Your dad's not there to take kind of that load off right now, and so you're kind of just watching the youngest siblings. And there are times where you're lost in that reflection. You're kind of just staring off into space, and you draw a bit of attention from the youngest one, who at this point isn't quite old enough to form words. But you can see they're kind of like walking their little tail, trying to balance them, and for whatever reason, they can tell that something's off.
I'm just gonna lean over and kind of
They're not that small. They're
they're like that.
not that small. Yeah.
And I'm just gonna minor illusion a bunch of sparks and things like that to distract them.
You also have a hawk.
You're able to do so, and you kind of pull the attention away from it. Seems like a mostly neutral time. Nothing spectacular. Waking up the next day.
Can I wake up a little early to go and order breakfast?
Early riser, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up to
Do a short rest.
the. No. I mean, just like 5 minutes early.
You wake up
So you took
7
a
hours
short
earlier. So, okay, you took a shorter rest, but still a long
No.
rest.
This is like Hercules. You need every last drop, otherwise it doesn't count.
Yeah. I mean,
You wake up 5 minutes early.
just okay.
But you
First thing in the morning, I'm gonna go downstairs and go.
It's all one level. But
Oh, okay,
you,
whatever.
You walk across.
He thinks downstairs.
Sure.
You can go downstairs.
I can literally punch through the ground. I guess.
It's all made of stone, so probably not. But there,
I can.
There,
I can punch through the ground.
there is the aquatic. You are the aquatic room.
Whatever. I just want to go to the place where I order food.
Okay. You walk up, and it's the same barkeep.
Good morning.
Clearly.
Good morning. What kind of breakfast items do you have here?
Well, I mean, typically we don't do 3-course meals and breakfast and dinner.
Let me get some point. Do you have eggs?
We have fish eggs.
What about bacon?
Bacon, it's all fish here. Sorry.
Is your character always eating? Is that a flaw?
I feel like as a dragonborn barbarian, I should be always.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay, give me all the eggs you have.
All the bacon.
All the bacon.
All
And-
of the fish eggs. Have you had fish eggs before?
All of the fish eggs that you have. How many do you have?
I mean, it's in clutches. You don't count them individually.
You sell them by the clutch?
A couple pounds, yeah.
How much for a pound?
For a pound of fish eggs. I've never sold it. Give me a second. And she goes like into the chute,
Jesus.
and then she's just gone for a bit.
Why is this restaurant like a secret villain lair? She goes to shoot.
So,
Suddenly I want to investigate the downstairs.
Mr. Superman over here.
She comes out, and you see her head kind of pop out from the level, and she pulls the hair back.
Yeah. Is it still wet?
She went
Just
underwater.
went underwater.
Oh shit!
That's
Okay.
fine.
She got your fish.
It's a
Like-
fish on there.
Whatever. Okay, sure.
She pulls the hair back. For the pound, it would be about 4 gold.
Shit.
It's quite an appetite you got, buddy.
I feel like it's in character. I'm gonna need 2 pounds.
Right away. And she drops down, she comes back up, and she has, again, another platter with 2 pounds of these just clutches of fish egg. And you got like this kind of, they're like this pink, transparent kind of look to them. And it is just a shit ton. Like they're not heavy. And she pops it out and hands it to you over the bar.
Please make him do a constitution.
Thank you, madam. And then I'm gonna give her the 8 gold.
Give her the 8 gold.
Can I make an aside note about because you just brought up fish eggs? Do you remember when we went down into that like underwater cave where there was those like weird mer people thing and Faramir took those eggs?
Dude,
Did anything ever happen with that?
We threw them all.
Yeah. No, they were in water.
They got rotten.
They were in an urn.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
jarred some of them.
Huh?
Didn't somebody jar some?
Yeah,
I put them in a jar.
I asked, but like it was implied that they're good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like a week after.
Like a week after, as in like
In game time, week
no,
after.
no,
Yeah.
no,
yeah.
it's impossible.
No, it was a week after in game. Those eggs were fucked.
Yeah, nothing ever came of that. I'm just gonna sit at the table and start eating away.
Do you eat the entire
You
egg?
paid 46 gold. It was 8
Or are
gold
they
for
like
that.
in shells?
They're not shells. It's all like this kind of like boba texture to it.
I was opposed at first to like him keeping his money separate, but we can't afford that. We can't afford that.
You
And
can't
you-
afford this appetite.
You start eating them and they're super fucking chewy. And like your teeth, they're all a lot more jagged. Like you have molars, of course, but just like the nature of your teeth is carnivorous. And like you kind of have to smush them more than chewing them.
Have you ever had fish eggs before?
Nope.
Okay.
I am.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is whatever you do. You.
They're very salty.
I'm going to.
Squishy.
Yeah, I'm going to try something. I'm gonna gesture over to the madam.
One moment. She finishes and has a armor.
Could I bother you for a mug?
Alright.
Okay.
You're gonna puree them or something.
Grabs you a mug, sets it down.
Okay.
Just drink it.
I'm gonna.
I feel like I know where this is going.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of take a bunch, crush them in my palm, and then just kind of like liquefy them, and try to drink it.
Someone who's actually eaten fish eggs, could you please explain what this whole situation is like right now?
Someone just put.
Someone did?
They put a whole paragraph.
Wait, what is?
Yeah.
Is it lover or
Yeah, it's just kind of, it's like,
long bars.
it's like
Thank
kind
you,
of like
Mom.
boba, but with a little bit of crunch to it.
Yeah, I know what eating. I know what eating. Yes, I've eaten caviar before. It's just Rhaegeryon has not eaten caviar before, so.
What does it say? Somebody please read
It says
the
caviar, the eggs or roe of sturgeon preserved with salt. It is prepared by removing the egg masses from freshly caught fish and passing them carefully through a fine mesh screen to separate the eggs and remove any extraneous bits of tissue and fat. At the same time, 4 to 6% salt is added to preserve the eggs and bring out the flavor. In Iran, borax is used in addition to salt. The better grades of caviar are classified malasol, a derivative of malasol, the Russian word for lightly salted.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's what he eats.
Yup.
Yeah.
he eats sulfur. Like
So
You have a
I'm,
very salty drink.
I'll look over and be like, maybe not the best idea, and then just go back to eating it normally.
Alright. You all
And every once in a while, I'll take a claw and kind of like pick out.
Pick it up?
stuff in my teeth.
you all walk out and watch as your new dragon friend is just eating this fucking mountain of fish eggs.
Oh, come new friends. Eat.
Do you have anything else?
I'm gonna roll a con save because I'm still hungover and I saw that.
Yeah, I was gonna
Let's see
ask
how
how
long
long
they're-
is it?
Okay, 20.
20?
Nat 20?
Just unnatural.
Oh.
But hey, it's good enough. Good enough.
You're feeling a lot better this morning. You wake up and the headache's gone. Your stomach seems to have settled mostly.
Nice.
Yeah, you don't feel like you did last night.
Do you have anything else?
Yeah, we have all sorts of fish. What are you looking for?
Hey Wrath, do you have any recommendations on fish?
You shouldn't eat them. No, I'm just kidding. I
It's a
don't.
natural order of life.
I do not.
So, what's the most popular?
The most popular. Let me check my notes.
Do you guys what the most
Google.
popular kind of fish is?
I was like, yeah,
Yes, we have trout.
What's the most popular fish like this one?
Oh,
Trout, typically.
Trout will
Mike
work.
trout?
Oh, the mic burr.
No. And she goes ahead and begins preparing that. Your friend wanted it raw. Did you also
No.
raw cooked?
No.
Very well. She goes ahead and makes that.
Do you want trout?
I should have
as well?
asked.
I think I'm okay.
I should have asked if they like give a discount if I ordered it raw, because they don't have to cook it.
Someone comes out with the meat from that little chute you guys keep seeing her use, and then there's actually an oven tucked behind on this level, and she goes ahead and puts it in.
I'd be impressed if it was in the lower level.
And it takes a bit, but eventually she brings you out food.
I'm just gonna sit there and eat it.
Wait, you're a cat person,
Yes.
and you asked for cooked fish?
Yeah.
It'll run you about 4 copper.
For copper? Alright, I'll write that down.
We're progressive.
Yeah.
Anything else you all would like to do this fine morning?
So as I'm kind of eating, I turn to them and they're like, "So, where are you guys headed?"
We're going back to the capitals. Back to the capital.
Are you with some sort of organization?
Ever heard of the Blackwood Company?
Have I heard of the Blackwood Company?
Yeah, you're with the Blackwood Company. You know them as essentially mercenaries, but less so in like you've never heard of them taking a job against people. Typically, their jobs are monsters, beasts, stuff like that.
But like, do Dragonborns have any particular attitude towards them? Or?
No, in your travels, you've heard about the Blackwood Company. You wouldn't have heard of where you're from.
So I'm just sort of neutral about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna be like, oh, I've heard about them. You guys must be some pretty experienced adventurers. Is this all of you? It's just the
No,
four of
we
you?
have another friend back home. Is there anyone else in the tavern?
In how early it is, people are kind of coming from the rooms and such. You get the sense that the people who were at the tavern, probably didn't stay at the tavern. They came by to drink and then left to go to their homes.
Okay.
But yeah, so it seems mostly empty in the morning.
Alright. So, are you coming with us?
And sure, if your organization has any openings, might be an interesting venture.
Well, what were you here to do?
No goal. I just explore. I make my way about like a rolling stone.
Like the rolling stone.
With no direction.
You're not a bard anymore. Stop it.
All habits.
He's also he's Bob.
How does it feel?
Such a good song.
I suppose you could travel back with us and stick around for now.
Cool. And then I'm gonna like kind of hesitate. This one I like it.
Well, that is different from failure.
Yeah, it's very different from Fairmere.
Favor is cool with Wrath, did not like Lazura.
The meal's brought to you and you're able to enjoy it. Day continues.
We should
Yeah,
bounce.
we should.
We gotta do some burial
Yeah.
stuff and we gotta go see our friend.
Alright, I'm gonna head outside, see if our friends are out there.
Roll me a perception check.
Perception?
Yep.
8.
8. Looking around in the water, you see gondolas, but you don't see the gondola.
Don't see the
Brought
only
you.
gondola that's bigger and a different color.
Yep.
Can I fly up and look?
Sure. You go ahead and you stretch the wings out for a sec. And then, yeah. Roll me another perception check.
What did my perception? 14.
14. Looking around the area, you don't seem to see the gondola.
Are we later than we told them?
It looks to be about the time you guys talked about.
Okay.
I'm gonna come back
Can
down.
we like wander around a bit?
Yeah.
Because we didn't give him more money. Although I think a gold like relatively is a
We
lot.
should have given them more money.
But like gold's a lot.
But we made them stop while we had a fight in an alleyway.
That's true.
They took us to 2 tourist spots. They waited at the Book of the House
We
of
don't
Words.
have to stick with these people.
Well, they
We're
were the
gonna
ones
need
that fit.
multiple gondolas. Plus, I like Taylor and Tyler.
That they don't like.
Something was a bit
Tyler doesn't like me.
Dodgy.
something was a bit dodgy about those two.
You begin walking around Demetrius, and
We'll take Maisie.
you go ahead and you get Maisie, and you both kind of lead around the edges. All of the buildings here, or most of them at least, they tend to have this kind of sidewalk that extends 2 to 3 feet out, and it's just kind of raised just above the water. And you're walking along, and I think it's a nice morning. You see the other boats going off, going around. Occasionally the guard boat or the patrol boats, but nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary. You get the sense it's very hard to get anywhere without a boat. There are bridges in certain areas where these platforms will connect to other platforms, but they're not everywhere.
Where do you think that they're gonna come? Or
If they don't, I guess he can fly. I can,
you can swim.
and he can
Demetrius can.
not cast Maisie.
Yeah, you can
Well, and
cast
wear
Maisie
and wear
then
the ring.
give him
The ring, yeah. And then technically we would fit on another one because there's only.
Well, the 2 of us could ride on Demetrius, as long as Demetrius is okay
yeah.
with it.
There you go.
How I can
So that's an actual.
We don't need a gondola,
Actual
technically.
solution.
if your place is not too far away, I could carry some of you. Some of the lighter types.
How it was a couple hours away, wasn't it? It was a boat
Maybe not
ride
as
and a
the-
couple hour walking.
as the dragonflies.
It's a bit of ways.
Cities that you're down.
So we'll just do that.
Aw, I'm gonna miss Taylor and Tyler.
You cannot. Oh wait. hold on.
Don't forget I have dragon talons. So.
If you dismiss your steed, you will have to recast the spell.
Oh, so it costs a spell slot.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long will it take to...
Casting time is 10 minutes. And it is a level 2 spell slot. Just so you know.
So when he casts Maisie every day, he expends those slots to do that.
He doesn't have to do it every day.
Because
You
if
do
he
it
doesn't
once?
undo it, she
Yeah.
just stays.
Right, you feel that?
Yeah.
The air vents are like directly angled at us.
How's it hitting me?
Like I that's why I always wear a sweater, because like there'll be times where I'm hot and like once it starts up again, it's like right here.
It's better than the sauna we started in.
Oh yeah. Oh,
We
yeah.
played in the sauna for all of you. Viewers at home.
Yeah,
I mean-
I'll uncast her.
Okay, well, because I was like, we can still take a gondola. Okay, all right.
I don't think that should be comfortably fit in a gondola.
Well, we did it on the way here,
Ooh,
but it's
if
too late
we
now.
like get in a gondola, could I fly in front of it and pull?
If you
With the help of
Technically,
Philo?
by the laws of physics, yes.
Would I have to roll? I mean, just to get there faster.
You would probably, I mean, you
What if
probably
he's
roll something, yeah.
very low?
Sure. What?
You have a flight speed of 20 feet.
And you're not that strong.
I think you
I
are
could just
pretty
keep
strong.
using the dash action. What do you mean I'm not that strong? What the fuck are you talking about?
I was just repeating what Homeboy said. So.
Oh, okay.
No mistake.
Technically, it's a flight of 30 feet.
Yes.
Because of Barbarian. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
all right, so are we just
I looked
gonna
all
forget the
up.
gondolas then and just
Just walk.
sure? All right,
Alright, you begin walking on the water.
yeah, flip through the
centaur.
ring.
A centaur. With a horned cat and tiefling on its back, the dragonborn just above, and the shark in tow.
Wait, can
I have.
Do you want to check out the sharks before we leave?
the dragon
Check out the sharks before we leave?
Yeah, my speed increases by 10 feet while I'm not wearing heavy armor, which I'm not, and also because of my aspect of the beast, my carrying capacity is doubled.
If he'll let me use like my sleight of hand and take it off.
Milo's on your head.
Milo's on your head. Are you cool with that?
I'm gonna kind of speak in Draconic and be like, "You comfortable?"
Nods.
Bro fist. Anyone else want to ride?
We're all like riding.
No,
we're like
I'm
we're good.
good here.
You sure?
Yeah.
Have you fly before?
In a way.
In a way. I'm trying to. How?
No.
If you count like the 2 times Thamer like cast Featherfall on you.
In a way.
Anyway,
In a way.
did you want to try to?
We can try it if you want to. We
I was
can-
just asking you now because once you turn into that, I can't talk. You can't talk to me, so we should figure this out now.
Okay. We were thinking of maybe trying to grab one of the gems that are on the shark. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I could try to like hunt it like one of those like birds that dip into the water.
I don't want to like break any laws, but also I really fucking want one, so I think I should ask you guys.
Also, I have a hand that
They know.
catches
Oh,
from
yeah, we have that
They-
too.
they-
We have options.
I want
here.
the
Also, I
pine
have a
cones.
familiar that can snap back.
Yeah.
I wish I had sleight of hand.
Would help.
Well, that's why.
But you guys can help me.
Technically, I don't believe the mage hand can be used for sleight of hand checks.
So it doesn't matter, I just use stuff.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna you're gonna hold on to me.
Yeah. So do you want to do it now, or do you want to do it like when we're like almost leaving?
I was thinking maybe when we almost leave. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just how busy does it look actually? Like it's early in the morning, but
It's still early in the morning.
it's a fishing area, so I assume they're
You're
up.
not allowed to fish inside.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
In the you remember being told by Taylor the previous day
Yeah,
that
it's illegal.
they don't allow the fishing in the actual alleyways and streets and stuff. All the fishing has to be done on the lake, and that's because what he thinks is they're trying to force the poor out.
How,
And the poor will be fishing.
how
Okay.
do they feel about people swimming in the water?
I mean, you remember Taylor and Tyler swimming in the water.
Okay, all right.
Okay, let's do it.
And you
Right
also
now?
you've seen
Okay.
tridents.
Wait, so what's happening
around.
with you?
We're gonna try to grab a gem.
Yeah, so I'm gonna hop in the water.
Can I be like, you guys need any help with this?
We're good.
You hop in the water, or you take her off?
Demetrius has the ring.
Let me
Yeah,
just
because
over.
I
Yeah.
would be walking on water.
Did you transform yet?
Or with just Artemis, I guess.
All right.
Turn to a reef shark.
I
So are we
grab
just
on
kind of
this
like
thing.
waiting on the
Yeah.
dock for this?
Wait,
You
does it
can do
matter?
whatever you want.
You want to attach Milo to that?
Is Milo coming?
Yeah, he doesn't need to breathe.
Milo, come here. Bring him along.
Milo.
He screamed.
It kind of attaches itself like a backpack to you
Alright.
as you're riding the reef shark.
He doesn't need to breathe, right?
No.
Okay.
And technically, I think he's like weightless. So.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool.
And you begin.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think we're gonna start walking on water and head in the direction that we're supposed to go.
Sounds good.
Chop, 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 chop.
You two are trotting on the water. Keep talking.
Well, I'm seeing what Milo's seeing.
Oh, you're right. So you're just kind of alone trotting
I'll
on
tell
the
you
water.
what's happening.
Okay, yeah, I'm just hanging out.
We're just trotting along.
She's looking for a shark.
Going through, both of you give me perception checks. Milo, give me a perception check too. Perfect.
17?
21.
21?
Ooh, yeah, Milo.
Yeah. Oh, we also get advantage.
See 3? Yeah.
Could I get that Wi-Fi back?
Swimming along, the shark that is Wrath continues going, and you're kind of just like Milo at first kind of taps on your shoulder, and you turn to your right, and you see what Milo is looking at, and then you tap on Wrath, who then turns his body around, and you are basically in tow with one of the guard boats, and you can see the boat above you. As it's going, it's probably about 10 to 15 feet, depending on where you're at, of water. And then there are the 2 reef sharks that are just following the guard boat.
Okay, so we definitely
Can I like try to steer him to go up like on the outside of one of them and like start creeping up behind it and see if it notices us?
You can sort of try.
Alright, I'm gonna like just give you a little nudge to go that way.
You understand what she's trying to get.
Right.
Like you do you, but
Okay. I'm going to creep up a little.
yeah.
Both of you roll me stealth checks.
Okay.
Milo's equipment at this point.
He has eyes.
Would this count because we were traveling yesterday and that wouldn't count for the like 1 hour thing that I have?
No idea what you're talking about.
So after traveling for 1 hour or more, never mind.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Because I think that's only for me right now. Until
While they're doing this,
16.
I'm just free flying over, like,
23?
stretching on my wings.
I have to go to the bathroom.
I'm like going up a bunch of feet and then dropping.
Alright. You said 23, you said 16. You continue swimming along, and you have to kind of slow down to avoid detection. But as far as you can tell, you haven't been noticed. You get the sudden urge to breathe, though.
Okay, I'll give a little tap to like pull up.
Look. You kind of crest the water and go back down.
Alright. Do you want to get closer? How far away is the gem from us?
They're probably, the gem is in the dorsal fin of the
Yeah.
shark. And the sharks are on, the dorsal fins are breaking the surface of the water.
Okay.
So the sharks are that high. You're probably 20 feet behind them at this point.
What do you want to do?
You guys can't really communicate.
I'm a shark.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like kind of nudge him to get him to go closer to it.
I can go closer.
Well, at the speed they're going at, could I catch up to them swimming on my own?
Yes, but you wouldn't be able to stealth while doing so.
I wouldn't be what?
To stealth while doing so. Because it takes too much energy for you to get there.
Okay, so then, this is my question. So, I have a trait where after traveling for 1 hour or more in a specific terrain, I'm naturally stealthy on my own. So is that applied here because we were also traveling there yesterday, or is it? Would you say it hasn't been long enough?
I'm gonna say I haven't.
Okay, all right. So it wouldn't be stealthy if I tried to swim up on my own, but we were stealthy enough just swimming together.
As far as you know.
So far.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you do plan on getting closer, you're probably gonna have to roll another stealth check.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of nudge you to try to get closer.
Okay. I'm gonna get a little bit closer. I'm gonna see how the stealth check goes.
Somehow just sees you guys getting closer.
Oh, roll me 2 more stealth checks.
Because
This will get you within like 10 feet.
okay. 20. Unnatural.
Unnatural 20.
18.
18?
Yeah, we honestly were asking for it right now. But I really want a gem.
You have not been detected so far.
Alright. So.
We're within 10 feet. I have my shark.
How far would we have to be away from me to be able to reach it?
Within
5 feet.
5 feet, yeah. You feel like you can get that close with your current stealth? You can get that close?
Alright, I'm gonna nudge him to get a little closer then.
I get a little.
You're right on their ass.
I'm gonna try to reach over and just sleight of hand.
Try to take the.
Try to take the gem.
Roll me a sleight of hand check.
No, please no.
I'm not gonna give you disadvantage.
Thank you. I'm waiting for the butt.
But I probably should. But I won't give you disadvantage because you're underwater.
Thank you. 14?
14?
Dang it.
So, you kind of lean over Wrath, kind of his dorsal fin out under your arm, kind of where the rib cage is, as you're pressing yourself forward, trying to remain like as aerodynamic as you can underwater. And the body of the shark is right here next to you, and you're reaching over, and your hand breaks the water, As it breaks the water, it touches the gem. And you see now that the gem itself is like in the dorsal fin. The dorsal fin is here and the gem's embedded. And as you push it to like pop it out, the shark moves with it. The dorsal fin, or the gem, is not a separate thing. It is part of the shark. And the shark forward and turns around.
Okay, I'm just gonna like nudge Wrath to like swim away.
Wrath is already gone.
Yeah.
We're gone.
Roll me an athletics check with disadvantage.
As a shark?
As a shark.
Can I help him?
You cannot.
Anyway?
You are the reason he has disadvantage.
Okay. Yeah.
Do I just add my strength? I don't know what.
Yeah, it's
am
the
I-
strength of the shark.
As a shark?
Your modifier. I doubt they have athletics.
Huh?
What's what happened?
We
Okay,
tried
yeah,
to
I
steal a gem and like the shark turned
Nat
around
20.
at us. Hey.
Let's go, baby.
Oh, so bad.
He's back!
Wait, but you said with
But with
disadvantage, right?
disadvantage.
You said with
Oh, with
disadvantage.
disadvantage.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's fair. That's fair.
Another nat
'Cause-
20 right
'cause
here.
If it was advantage, I would have remembered.
The dice has a mind of its own.
15.
15? Okay. With this, the one shark turns, and it is going to make an attack.
Is it a baby shark? Do.
I need to look up the
Reef shark?
stat block.
Wait, you
I
guys
got
tried
you,
to,
bro. Reef shark?
you tried to
I got it,
steal
I got
the
it.
gem from the
Plus
shark
40.
and it turned back and attacked you?
Has advantage.
Is he like as a shark right now? Or?
He's a shark.
My
I'm
natural
holding
is
onto his
12,
dorsal
you already know
fin,
that.
and then Milo is holding onto my
Do you want odds or evens?
Let's go. I'm pretty odd, so let's go.
Alright, even. It bites at you, and you feel the teeth rip into your brace,
Can
and
I uncanny dodge this?
you feel the teeth rip into your brace, and the teeth just don't pierce the skin.
Okay.
But it bites into it and shakes, and your arm gets shaken free, and you separate just a little bit from him. You're not as tight on anymore. What would you like to do?
Do I need a breath of water first of all, or am I okay for a couple
You
seconds?
have a couple seconds of air left.
Okay. So I'm still holding on to him, just a little bit looser, right?
Yes.
Is it still going to try to attack me?
It's looking at you.
Yes.
I'm gonna take out my spear and try to stab it.
Alright, go ahead and roll an attack with disadvantage. As a melee attack underwater.
Oh.
11.
11 just misses.
Cool.
You
Should
stab
just
and it breaks water. And as that happens, there's a moment where you look up and you see the guards in the boat turn around. So they do roll initiative.
Yeah.
Wait, is Milo?
Milo sees this whole thing.
So you know this whole thing too.
6.
How far away are we? Probably a little bit further.
Yeah.
Eye shot, I would say.
We should just try to like maybe capture it or something.
Definitely not close.
Wait, can I make Milo do anything? Can I roll initiative?
Also roll initiative for Milo, yeah.
Yeah, boys.
How far away is Demetrius?
Demetrius started walking
Yeah, I would say we could probably get back in like probably 2 or 3 rounds, maybe, if you think that's reasonable.
at a full sprint, maybe, yeah. What are the initiative rolls?
Are you gonna do the something through 20 or does it matter? 16.
Just let me know, there's only 2 of you.
16.
Oh,
Wait.
sorry, 3 of you.
14.
Oh, I got
16,
14 as
14.
well. Well, it's a 13 plus
Who
1.
has higher dex?
Me.
Yeah.
Yes.
He has like a plus 1.
I'm going to put this there.
I don't even know
And
why.
Artemis, I'm going to put you.
That's gonna be me.
That's going to be
Oh.
Milo. I didn't make a reef shark thing. Didn't expect this to happen.
Gotta be prepared for everything.
Reef shark.
Oh, yeah, look,
fucking
cut
slow.
out Milo too.
I will make one. And
Yeah, it's your only
then
job. I'm just kidding.
Ooh. Hey,
He
he
didn't
tries.
speak
He
this
tries.
entire thing.
I know, I'm kidding.
He
And
was
then-
gone for a whole week.
the Dragonborn Paladins will be the guards. So there you go. They're not actually Dragonborn Paladins.
Okay.
Wrath, what would you like to do?
So running away is just no option underwater.
I mean, you can swim. Swimming with a person attached to you makes it very difficult.
If you want me to like let go. Just like give me a little.
Yeah, so you just drown.
That's I shouldn't use it. Okay. No, just let go of me.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I can't let go of you because I'm a shark, so.
Can I, as part of that attack thing, say that I also let go of
That is
him?
not what I want to say, but
Can I, as part of my attack thing, say that I also let go of him?
you guys, yeah, I would say you guys separated now.
Okay.
I give you for free.
Okay. There are 2 sharks there and 2.
There are 2 sharks, and it looks like 3 people in a boat. We're now looking down into the water.
So they haven't they're not attacking, or we assume that they are?
You would assume that they see you.
They're gonna attack.
probably-
Get out of there. Just get out of there.
Okay. Should I just knock their boat down?
Just get out of there.
Where are you gonna go?
Don't worry about me.
Do you have something, or?
Yeah, I have a lot of movement.
But you're swimming.
I ignore difficult terrain.
That's
what it says. That's what it says.
We'll just keep playing. This water wet,
I
so
talked to you about this before.
cold terrain. Give me a second. I'm checking.
Is water to the boat?
You have to.
I'm just gonna swim away with you.
I want to say that it's not difficult terrain. It's its own thing.
It's not?
Difficult terrain. Because it has a swim speed.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
So
No.
okay, so then what is? How do you find your swim speed? How do you find your profile?
Your swim speed is, if you don't have a swim speed on your profile,
Mhm.
it's half of your movement.
Okay.
So
That's
you have half of everything.
to be honest. Question: how far am I from the nearest? Like, obviously, we're in
The water, but like the nearest like deck or something.
the nearest like edge. Anything that I can like phase out.
In the middle, maybe, like to get on the land,
Yeah.
maybe 10 feet.
Okay, so I have a swim speed of 40, so I can take her. We can even cut mine in half.
Yeah, you would do that.
Sure, that's what we do.
You are going to get
An opportunity attack. What if I disengage?
That would take your action, so yeah. If you're comfortable with taking your action.
Yes.
You
Yes.
just couldn't dash.
I'll allow that.
Huh?
You should just go without me.
Well, are you sure?
I already let go.
Okay, then I go.
You swim off. What is your total speed?
Well, it's 40,
40 speed.
but I'm gonna like get as far away as possible and then get on land.
So get as far as you can in water and then jump on fast.
Yeah. So like because I'm imagining it like Venice, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to like swim down, and then when I move, and then I just get off. Yeah.
You're able to get 40 feet through the water.
We'll even say 35, and then 5 to the.
Yeah, and you pop out as a fish and then use your action to transform. Does it take your action?
It's a bonus action to transform out of
Gotcha.
it.
Okay. And bonus action, you pop out a human or a drow, half drow.
Wait, how far away did you go?
35 feet.
Okay.
Looking back, you don't quite know if the guards can tell that it's you.
Okay.
Your turn though.
So 35 feet. That was the farthest. That was the closest land area.
Closest line's about 10 feet.
10 feet. Oh, okay. I'm going to. I guess we're attacking these things now, right? So, or are you trying to run
You
away?
should probably go up for air.
Yeah. Just come to me, no?
Well, I have advantage on my attack if I'm attacking.
But there's 5 of them.
So are we just running away?
I think so.
Okay, I'm just gonna go
Well, it's up
over.
to you.
I'm gonna just follow him then.
Right.
So I can go up to 45 feet right now.
So you move.
So okay, so I have a 15 feet of movement. That's my speed. I can feline agility, double that to 30, and then I can take my movement and I can dash as an action and a bonus action. Right. So that's.
Are you doing all of this
So
in the
it's
water,
90
or are you
feet.
breaking out of water first? This is my question.
Do I need to? If
It's
it's
entirely up to you.
is it gonna affect my speed?
Yes, if you get out of water, your speed is no longer half.
Oh yeah, I'm following him. So what was it? 35 feet.
35 feet.
Okay, so 35 feet to that.
And you can do that underwater, right? Do you need all 90 of it? Because if they didn't notice me because I was underwater, did they notice her?
It's hard. I said it was hard for you to tell if they could tell if it was you.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
I follow you.
Wait, so did they see me?
They for sure saw you.
Oh,
Okay.
They're looking into the water.
Then take
Yeah, I'm just gonna follow Wrath. So I go 35 feet to the land, right? And
Okay.
then I get.
So
Oh,
you
shoot, we
use
have to do complicated math.
15 feet of your movement, and then you use an action to dash. So it's another 15 feet of movement. So you're at 30 feet.
Oh wait, are you still in the water or did you come up?
No, I didn't come up. I
Okay.
waited till I got to.
So 30 feet, yeah.
Okay.
And then she has her bonus action, which is another 15.
Another 15. So you're able to get out of the water,
And
and let's
have
say you
10.
have 10 more feet on
10 more
that.
feet, yeah.
But I also have feline agility.
Okay.
That doubles everything.
Maybe
Okay.
20 feet on land.
So, because okay, it was how many feet of swimming did I have to do?
35 feet of
35.
swimming, or 10 feet of swimming to get to land, and then you can move from there.
Okay, I'm just gonna do 10 feet to
Okay.
get to land.
So that's 20 feet of your original movement.
Yes.
Okay. You pop out of land, you have 10 more feet of movement. And then you can use your action to dash and your bonus action to dash.
So I have 70 feet left, right? Is that?
Yes. You
That's
have
it?
70 feet left.
Okay. Yeah. So then.
Just move slower. Just move slower. It makes it easy.
I'm just gonna catch up with Wrath.
You can fucking pass right.
You can pass me.
You want me to?
Hell
You,
yeah.
you
Okay.
can double the distance.
I'm just getting out of there then.
Right? You
Is
start
there
running.
like an alleyway that I can go hide in?
You are going to take an opportunity attack from the shark.
Oh, okay, wait. Then I'm going to not use one of those dashes and use my disengage.
Okay, you're
instead.
right next to Rock.
Alright, cool.
Cool. You break the water. The two sharks are going to swim 40 feet to get to you.
Mhm.
That is Artemis's turn. Your dragon boy.
Yes.
You are on the back of a very fast cat right now. Do anything?
He's super far from Artemis?
Super far from Artemis. I don't think you can actually. You can
Yeah, I
only
was like, is he 100 feet?
yeah, you can just watch.
Is he within 100 feet?
Of you? No.
Then, yeah, I don't know what's happening anymore.
You can
So-
still watch though, can't you? No?
I think it's only within 100 feet.
You can't see?
So he's just like along for the ride.
The guards watching the tabaxi they just saw break water and run next to you, they are going to pull out. Can somebody turn that on? There's a tablet over there to turn the screen back on. They're going to take 2 shots at you with bows. Yep.
Who are they shooting at?
They're shooting at you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that is going to be.
The guards from the ship.
You see 2 arrows get launched, and you take 9 piercing damage as one of them catches you kind of lower thigh.
Uncanny dodge.
You cut it in half.
Is it 4 or 5? 4. Okay.
Yes.
400 dead, right?
All you want. And the last one starts turning the boat around. As this happens, you hear a whistle being blown.
Oh no.
Oh boy, you guys.
Goofed.
Yeah.
And you hearing the whistle being blown,
Blow the whistle.
you hear it further down that way. Another whistle is blown. You hear it to your left. Another whistle is blown. What are you doing?
Can you scale a building?
And row.
Yeah, he said I could climb the buildings here.
So you can scale it, get as far as possible, scale a building, and I'll run as far as possible, and just transfer to shark, and we'll just meet up
Yeah.
at the capital.
Yeah.
So
We're not gonna meet up till the capital? Or do you wanna
we'll just meet up at the capital,
Okay.
however we get there.
Yeah.
Because I don't, yeah. So whose turn is it? Mine?
It's your turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna run and then transform into a shark and just,
You hit the water and you start swimming.
I'm gone.
Alright. Zero, what are you doing?
Are you gonna take my,
The dragon more
my
paladins
thing
are
off the...
No, they're guards.
No.
Just no. I'm gonna scale one of the buildings and just try to like get out of there without them seeing me, just climbing on top of buildings and running away.
Roll me because of your acrobat background, roll me an acrobatics check. Instead of an athletics.
Acrobatics?
Yes.
18.
18. You take your staff and launch yourself up into the air, bringing the staff up with you. Your claws able to catch the building. Again, the buildings are all this black kind of coral-like stone, and the claws find a real easy purchase in it. not going into the stone, but there are little chips in it and such, so you can kind of pull yourself up. And you just start scaling and going. These are supposed to be the guards.
Yeah. You can switch it because you put the reef charts.
I was about to say if the Dragonborn Paladins are back, then I probably should do something.
I don't know if you can even see it.
I'm flying around in the air because I have to go to the bathroom.
You are being pursued
By sharks.
currently by
Yeah.
2 reef sharks.
Yeah.
You are the same speed,
Mhm.
and you currently, I would say, have almost 10 feet on them,
Okay.
but they are keeping pace with you.
Cool.
And as you're going through it, you notice that there's a 3rd reef shark that joins.
Got it. So because of the gems, I figured that was coming.
But they haven't quite caught up to you yet. The guards, you get another 3 arrows before you're kind of outside of these guards. Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay. So now for 20 on the first one.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
shoot.
17 on the next.
And then 2 19s actually.
Jesus.
So the first one will be 17 piercing damage.
Oh.
So what is half of that?
8.5 or so 8.
So 8.
So you take 8 piercing damage.
Yeah, we're just gonna do this.
And the other 2 are
What arrows are they shooting at her that are not?
It doubled.
it was a crit.
They doubled.
Oh, because it was great.
Yeah. You scaling this, you're not able to defend yourself properly, going up, and you just, as you're going, you feel the arrow pierce and it goes straight through your shoulder. The first one, and you grab it and keep going as 2 more arrows into your back. Take an additional 9 piercing damage. You're not able to. I can't dodge.
Yeah, I can only do it once.
So you take 4.
No, she's not.
No,
able
I
to,
can't
so she takes
any
the
dodge
one.
that.
The other 2
Okay.
did not roll as well as the first one. And you're up in the scaling at this point. Roll me a perception check.
But I also would like to say, while this whole thing was going on,
The whistle.
no, not the whistle, the whole, danger sense thing.
No.
You're just like, everything's fine.
You're flying there and you're like, there's whistles?
Wait. Mal took her to come back to me. I'll just snap back.
You can snap him back, whether or not he's supposed to. But you don't know
No,
what's
he's
going
not.
on.
Yeah.
But you do hear in the distance whistles.
I
So
mean,
I'm just like,
nasty.
shit's going down.
I rolled 3 natural.
So I just hear whistles.
You just hear whistles. Roll me. Are you going to continue to try to outpace them?
Yeah. Until it gets to the point where I can no longer outrun them or I get cut off by them.
Roll me an athletics check.
Okay. Straight.
With the shark, yeah.
Okay. I assume just my strength,
It
which
would be
is a
just a
+2.
strength,
Yeah.
And I'm going to be doing the same for them.
Sure. 19. Dude, I rolled like 3 natural ones. I was just getting it out of the way.
Good.
So I rolled a 20, a 1, and a 2.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
So one of them is
Okay.
on your ass.
Okay.
And he is close enough to take a bite attack.
Okay. Nat 20. It's fine. I don't think. I looked at its stats. It's not gonna hurt me that much.
No.
Hey, is that an opening of the bestiary?
I'm a reef shark, bro. I know.
He is allowed to look. In my game, if you open Bestiary and you're not a druid looking for your stuff, you grow old and die.
Instantly.
So, instantly. Just like that, I don't care. You die.
At me hearing the whistles, can I kind of fly down to see what that is?
Yeah, you can fly around a little more. Let me roll the damage for this bite attack.
Are we close to them?
And you take 12 piercing damage.
Okay.
Oh, that's not too bad.
And it just bites into your tail fin.
I thought we were waiting to.
And you can feel the teeth kind of shredding into the skin there. You are at the point though where you feel like it is just you and this one shark. You don't know how long it will stay like that, but that is what's going on. And it is your turn.
Okay. Where am I? Like in terms of like, am I close to anything?
Looking around, you can see you. You've dipped under kind of the platforms that are around there, and you seem to be under a very busy platform. This isn't a place that you've seen before, but it looks like there's a lot of feet walking above you. And there are a few ways to get down, by kind of holes in the platform and such, but for the most part, you're kind of under this big line.
Don't mind us.
I'm going to run. Is it going to get an attack of opportunity?
Yeah, we're gonna attack opportunity.
Because you're not supposed to collect the gems.
Okay, then I'll just use the disengage action.
Disengage action.
And get, I would say, about 35 feet away from it. And I guess then phase out. Like jump out and then phase out and back into a jump.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay. As the
shark.
Okay. Check.
Actually, no, mental stats you get to keep. So
Okay.
I'll allow it to be
Okay.
your perception.
Fuck 9.
9?
Yeah.
Do I see anything as I swoop down?
As of now, there's not much to be seen. You see the boats kind of converging into one area, but you don't see your new allies or anything like that.
Can I investigate that situation?
Roll me
If that sounds like metagaming,
roll
then
me a
stop.
perception check.
Okay.
As you are a curious fellow.
I heard whistles.
Yeah.
And I was fine. 5 again.
Yeah, looking around,
There's boats
people are
there.
blowing whistles.
So I'm just kind of flying and
Maybe it's an athletic event, and there's the referees. You can't really tell.
canoeing.
At this point.
I just kind of
Competitive swimming.
And as you're flying lower and lower, people tend to look at you more. Not typically seeing a flying black dragonborn.
Is it just a look of like,
What the fuck?
yeah?
Some people are scared.
Are there? Okay, sure.
Back to you. You're swimming through, and you come up onto this breach, and you kind of the top part of your body, and it's just a hole in the ceiling here, and you just kind of start moving yourself out. Give me an athletics check as a shark.
Okay.
To see if you can get yourself through this hole.
Please roll me something good. 21.
1.
9 plus
You
10.
fall back into the. Just kidding.
It was not enough, sir.
You're pulling yourself through, and you feel as the shark, like you don't see it, but you feel the
I
presence.
just know it. Huh?
You feel the presence of it, and you feel it as it hits the board, trying to snap at you. And at that moment, 3 or 4 people paying attention to this hole. What the fuck? As this shark comes out, and you roll out and turn to raft.
Okay.
And now there's just a small group of people like.
Okay. I'm just gonna look at him and be like,
Jedi business, go back to your drinks.
I had a lot of Jake last time. And I'm gonna. Is there a store, anything that's near me?
Where you ended up kind of opening up to, it's this like kind of art plaza. There's a lot of people painting.
Yeah.
A lot of people just kind of walking around. It's kind of like street art,
Okay.
but it's on this big platform.
Cool. I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace on myself
Okay.
and just try to blend in Ezio Auditory style, Assassin's Creed style.
Roll me stealth check.
Okay. $24.
That's with the plus 10.
Yeah. I roll 14.
You don't have a hood, but you did a little thing. Then you just blend into the crowd. You feel like you probably.
Okay. We're not fucking stealing again. It's so bad shit happens all the time. It's just bad.
Please stop. Your stealing inadvertently sort of led to Faemir's death.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know
Okay,
if that's
it accelerated the process.
That is more like
Accelerate
Yes.
the inevitable.
trying to get you in stuff. I'm sorry.
So sorry.
You are in these new places. What are you doing?
Excuse me, sir. Do you know where I can go and exit towards the capital?
We're in the capital.
The capitals?
Oh,
That area?
the gang, yeah.
Yeah.
And he starts giving you directions. It's a bit of distance. Kind of back toward where you were, but a little off to one of the sides. He tells you there's no way to get there by foot.
Okay.
You're gonna have to get a gondola.
Sure. So I'll walk down towards gondola.
Okay. You get to a gondola, and it's one of the white and kind of golden copper boats, and you see one of the very well dressed people there. He's like, where are you heading?
I need to go back to the capitals. Can you take me to the docking area? I'm a bit cold. Do you have like a blanket or something?
No, not really.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I know the weather's getting a little chilly. A little
Yeah.
wet.
Yeah, I'm a little wet. I fell inside. So. Do you have nothing?
No, just the coat I'm wearing. But...
That's okay. I don't have a. No, I'm fucking naked. Is that?
No, you walk around shirtless.
Dog. Douchebag level.
And
sure.
he starts taking you out. You roll me a survival check.
Survival?
Yep.
That's wisdom.
20?
20?
Unnatural.
You're moving through at the tops of these buildings, jumping from building to building, using your feline grace and acrobatic background, and you're able to just leap these bounds. You find yourself pretty quickly to where you guys began this trek, and after a little while, you kind of get a little blip. It's like, oh, Milo's back.
No.
Do you tune in?
No.
Yeah.
You tune in and you see a very frantic friend of yours leaping from building to building. And Milo kind of looks to the side and you see an arrow dug very deeply into her shoulder.
Can Milo go and pick at it?
Roll
We're
me,
gonna roll medicine.
roll me a medicine check
lucky.
with Milo's stats.
9.
You
You
take
gotta get it in the water, get it all
Wait.
soggy.
4 piercing
Wait.
damage.
Oh wait. There's no permission.
Ow! Milo, stop!
You try.
And you now see your new cat friend jumping from rooftop
Wait.
to rooftop.
If I'm proficient in it, is he proficient in it? Even then, it'd just be like a 12.
We're gonna say from now, no, but I'll double check.
Okay.
Okay, so as I see her like jumping, I'm gonna kind of fly and then like be flying alongside her and be like, need a lift?
I'm good.
No, we're wasting time. And I'm just gonna like grab
Can
her.
I
grab her
dodge
shoulder.
this?
You can go ahead, oppose checks.
What
Do we
is
just
this
straight
for?
up roll?
You would roll acrobatics, you would roll athletics.
Which is strength?
Ooh.
She has fire ass.
Oh boy.
What'd you roll?
12.
15. You thought I was gonna roll back because I rolled a 5.
You go ahead and snap, and you with your talons,
Talons.
and you like just kind of graze her shoulders, and you actually nick the arrow again.
Oh, my bad.
Take another 3 points of piercing damage as the arrow gets pushed in a little harder.
I said I was good.
You get yourself in trouble and then you consistently blame other people when they try to help you.
That's not in character.
That's not a character.
How would I know that?
I'm just saying this outside of character.
Fly off. You all get to this area where all of the dock, the main dock, where they start taking gondolas out. And after about 10 minutes, you show up on a gondola, soaking wet, and he brings you to the edge of it.
Or your trouble.
How much do you give me?
A gold.
Gold?
Well, do I have money on me? Yeah, I assume.
Thank you.
How long has it been since we got up?
It's been about an hour.
I'm gonna write down your bed.
We literally wasted an hour.
Literally. Okay. This is D&D though, so.
Yeah.
Time's
Dungeons and
relative.
Dragons. There have been
I'm
no
so
dungeons, and there have been dragons though.
There is a
Definitely
dragon.
Dragons. We got half of it.
But at this point, it's more like Dungeon and Dragon.
I mean,
Dragons.
Oh yeah.
There's two.
we've had like an underground maze, right?
We had an underground
Kind
maze
of
at
a
one point.
That was a dungeon.
We went into a cave once.
DM notes. Add more dungeons.
So, are we going
Wait,
to...
so are we all
Back to the
regrouped?
capital. Yeah.
Okay, let's go home.
Is Pass Without Trace still active?
No,
Okay.
at this point,
I
no.
think it's for an hour. So it's been an hour since.
Is it for an hour?
Yeah.
I'd say you probably got like 10 minutes left.
Alright,
Who's good at-
We're out of this city.
Okay, who's good at medicine?
I am.
You.
I have 4.
Somebody want to help me out here?
I can cure wounds.
Okay.
I'm gonna cure wounds.
The arrows just pop
When
out.
does Susan come back?
It's a DA, right?
Yeah, that's... I kind
That's how
of...
your wounds works, I guess.
It's a DA, right?
Sorry, what?
When does Susan come back?
Who's
When
it?
we go back.
Yeah, we're
When
gonna
you guys
go
go back to
Maybe
the capital.
Jesus, let's go!
Yeah.
By the way, when I...
Wait, does that also give me HP or no?
I'm gonna give you HP right now.
Okay.
When,
Like, I mean, I just want the arrow out.
I was
like,
gonna. Okay.
The arrows just
But like,
go in your shoulder.
I'll take HP too, but I'm not taking.
Wait, can she get plus 2 to intimidation?
By the way, your
6.
armor class is dropped by 1.
whoa,
Wait, what? Why?
Because I haven't been taking a super good account of this, but I did create the armor degradation rule. Every time you get hit by an enemy crit, your armor class is reduced until you get repaired.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so I can get a
You
repair.
can get repaired.
Okay.
It's not permanent.
Hey,
You made me
guess
really sad
guess
for
who
a
doesn't
second.
wear armor?
Smart.
But I
Do you
still
drink
have
water
fucking
now?
16 and 18
You
if I have a
should
shield
drink
up.
water.
Nice.
Water now.
I'm gonna make us dehydrated. Like,
So it's just -1?
Minus 1 point.
Okay.
You're gonna make us keep track of our
So
food
it is
now.
16. I have some of these
Yeah.
rules in here. That's just one that I've forgotten about a lot, and I shouldn't because I think it's cool. You
Do we get back to Uzuki?
walk for a few hours to get back to the capital's territory, and eventually the white and copper uniforms are replaced with the kind of mishmash, rugged look of the capital's gang, with again the white suit stitched or painted into the breastplate, and you are back in very familiar neighborhoods. Where are you hanging out at this point?
I go back to the tavern. I'm just in the rooms at least.
Are you?
Do I get any sort of different looks from the people, or is it more the same, just kind of...
There's less. You get occasional, where you were previously, the Copper Fangs territory, you get occasional looks of disgust.
Oh, wow.
Here, it seems that beast folk are more common. You've heard tales of Dragonjaw, a very powerful minotaur from the Blackwood Company. You know that he resides in the area. You're seeing more tabaxi as you're walking through, so you get kind of a feeling that it's more normal.
That whole dragon jaw thing, was he helping the Dragonborn in that fight?
He broke.
He killed a dragon.
You have heard.
Do I history check this?
Roll me a history check.
Alright.
I would say
8.
8.
you don't know nothing.
Dragonjaw.
I mean, I grew up there,
Yeah,
so...
yeah. Dragonjaw. His tail. You know that he slew specifically a red dragon.
Okay, do I know that those are...
The coloration red dragons are typically more aggressive, and they of all the dragons in the trench, they are the ones who are the hardest to
live with.
to live with, to gain trust, stuff like that. You also know that there were definitely bouts between the paladins of the trench and this specific party of the Blackwood Company. You don't know much about the details, but there was aggression between the two.
But that's quelled over time, because you said I was back out neutral about the Blackwood Company.
What was that?
Yeah, that's quelled over time, like that was just a one-time aggression thing. Because you said I feel neutral about the Blackwood Company.
You feel neutral with the Blackwood Company. This person specifically, maybe you might feel something about. It depends on how you feel about the people of the trench in general. And again, you don't know the details. You don't know like if if people died on either side or how many or things like that.
I don't know what even that. I don't even know what he was doing there.
You just know there's hostility. Yeah.
How long ago was this?
This was probably maybe a year or two before you left.
When did I leave? Pretends to look at notes I don't have.
Yeah, that's my job.
Okay. A year before. Okay.
A year or two. You wouldn't know for sure.
Okay.
But you all head back to the Blackwood Company.
I go look for Uzu.
Where would you look for Uzu?
Yeah, I was like, do we know where she is?
I'm gonna check the Blackwood Company first.
Wow, look at that. You go right into the
I
Blackwood
was
Company.
gonna do that and then the slums, so.
And there's Uzu.
Whoa.
Just writing in the room earlier.
Hey Uzu, are you okay?
Yeah, fine. What's up?
Oh,
Am I here?
You walk into the tavern. It's your first time. It's kind of this U-shaped tavern. You open it. There's a large fireplace in the center. At this time of day, it's not burning too high. You seem to be kind of like pots lowered into it, cooking. There are lots of tables. There's a back wall with this smooth stone, and you see kind of from a distance there are some names etched into it. There's a bar on the left side, and there seems to be a stage on the right side.
Also, when I walked in, did I see Toot Toot?
You did not immediately see.
Okay.
Public reaction. I'm gonna ask everywhere we go what the on a scale from nothing to jazz music stops.
Of everywhere you have been in your life, you have never been looked over as hard as when you walk into the Blackwood Company tavern. They don't give a shit.
Okay.
You don't give a shit about you.
Fair.
So we walk in and I say, my god, it's Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Jazz music stops.
Good to see you, Mr. Potter.
Please no.
That was the worst.
So long.
I did not expect it to last that long.
Anyway, back onto the current thing. You find it.
Yeah. So, what have you been doing the last day or so?
Writing.
Okay. Got it. Alright.
Did everything clear up with the tangerine guy?
Yeah, we took care of it. We gave him some money.
Cool. Feel a lot better about that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Maybe
then
don't
we went to the library,
remember.
got some books and stuff like that. Yeah.
You got books.
Oh, we got books.
Yeah.
Dude. Let me read a book.
Dude, okay, I think Artemis has all the books.
Is Artemis here?
Party.
We got 9 books.
Are all of the books there?
I think so.
I'm gonna look through all of them.
Me too, I would like one of them.
So,
Demetrius,
okay,
Even if I'm
well,
just-
yeah,
I
we
don't
got
have all the books. You have
So
the
we got
poetry book. You have
book, Classification
One
of Demons,
of them at least.
Historical
Yeah.
Accounts of Demonic Possession, Practice of
Raising the
Exorcism,
Dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been reading it on and off.
Turning Undead,
Did you
Practice
change
of
your
Exorcism,
No,
No.
if you're gonna read it.
Just chaos. Just.
Artemis got that one.
Which one?
Turning Undead.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Getting rid of them.
What? Yeah, getting rid of them. Accounts of Lichdom, Raising the Dead, Frosted Spellcasting.
Wait, can I just like look at? Is there gonna be like stop?
Simple ailments. That one would be good for like healing and stuff.
Yeah, cool.
And then look, I got this one, Poetry of the Wild.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the stack for a sec, if that's cool.
Okay.
Wait, no, it's fine. We'll dispose of them.
We do have to return them though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
I will point out the book Raising the Dead is currently being held by Matrix.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you said the title,
Yeah.
but you don't physically have the book inside.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know who was holding them because I held some, but then I went swimming, so I assume I gave them over to someone.
I hope so.
Can I
Yeah.
grab the lich one?
Yeah.
Yeah, each of us holding different ones.
Cool, because
But we both went swimming.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna grab that one. Is that okay?
Meanwhile, can I kind of walk over to the wall at the back?
Yeah, Demetrius has the raising.
Can I take the necromancy books
That's
that
really
you
great.
have?
I'm really glad that he has that book.
He wanted it. Yeah.
No, it's cool. That's great.
Yo, y'all with these
You
books,
okay
I
there?
swear.
It's fine.
You sure?
Wait, why are you-
Okay.
She's like necromancy.
Where's Miss?
Mist is in the room, just snapping.
Okay.
That's
Do we still have all
that's
the
a good
books?
question.
Wait, this is a companion books.
Because
Huh?
Do
I
we
did
still have
roll
all
on the
books?
table again. Because this wasn't mentioned in the flashback at all. But Mist walks up to you very affectionately and seems to have something in its mouth.
Oh Jesus.
Hold my hand out.
You hold your hand out and it lets it go,
A mouse.
and you look at it, and it takes you a second. This is Toot Toot's finger.
I fucking knew it. I knew it.
Oh,
I thought it was gonna be his ear, but okay, I knew it was gonna be something to do with
heard
Tutu.
that.
I think you know Tutu a little bit better than me.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring out a
Toot
cloth
Toot's finger.
and
Where
just-
did he keep the finger?
Yeah,
In
wrap
his
that up
pocket.
and put that.
Toot Toot kept his finger in his pocket.
God.
Yeah.
Toot Toot is a goblin.
An alcoholic goblin.
We probably did that to him, to be honest.
Probably.
I scratch Mist and say, good find.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
God!
reach
Don't
my-
encourage this.
I'm gonna reach my hand out so Miss can like sniff my hand and see if she'll let if she'll let me pet her.
Roll me an animal handling check.
Okay. 12?
She allows you to pet her.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just like, yeah, sure.
Alright, I'm gonna give it a little pet and stuff. Yeah. I think I should go find Toot Toot.
Probably a good plan.
Yeah, do you know where he might be? Have you seen him around?
No.
No? Okay. I'll go out. I'm gonna go look in the main tavern area again, like intentionally looking for him.
Just because I think it's funny. I rolled a d10 that's sold to my table, and the number that I rolled says bring something back. And then it says roll another d10, 10 being valuable. I rolled a 1 for value. So it was like Toot's finger. You enter, and as you enter, you now see Toot Toot. He's kind of like walking out from behind the bar, and he's shorter, much shorter than the bar, so he just kind of comes around the corner of the bar, and you see him there walking pretty normally.
Oh, he doesn't look like he's drunk?
No, doesn't look like he's drunk.
Toot Toot! Toot Toot!
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm not doing too bad. You
nice.
guys just come back from something?
Yeah, we just got back. We went to the library. Have you ever been to the library?
No, what's
Me
a library?
neither. It's okay. It's like this really big building,
Uh-huh.
and it's filled with books.
With books.
Like the walls covered in books.
Like things you can learn spells from and stuff.
Yes, and other things. You can learn
Wow.
almost anything from them.
Did you guys pick me up another spell book?
They didn't. I don't think they actually had spell books, and you can't keep the books. You have to give them back.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry, but I do have something for you.
Uh-huh.
I found this, and I pulled it out.
My feet? What? How'd you do that?
Magic! Ta-da!
Roll me a deception check.
This is so.
You rolled a 1! Oh my god! There's a look of like excitement, and it just kind of like turns to like why?
Okay, Tutu,
As he reaches and takes the finger from your
Tutu, I
head.
have to be honest with you. Do you know Miss? You know, the little hawk fox?
You fucking snitch.
You know Miss, the little hawk fox that the zoo has?
You know, you guys are fun sometimes, but other times you just make me a little sad.
And he walks off.
Bro.
No.
It wasn't my fault though, I was bringing it back.
And you walk back behind, or he walks back behind the bar, and you see Marshall, the bartender there. He's kind of giggling to himself with this whole thing, and you see him look down behind the bar, and then he grabs a little tankard and he puts it down below the bar. What's going on in the room?
I had said, bro, it's a good thing I didn't see this. If Rhaegeryon saw all this shit, he would just like, what the fuck did I get myself into?
You were actually looking at the wall.
I was at the wall, yeah.
Yeah. What are you looking at the wall for?
Reading the names and shit.
All right.
Anything.
Roll me.
I want to read like.
perception check.
Okay. Perception. 14.
14. Looking at the wall, it is a lot of names, and the names. Looking at them, you're not too sure of like the kind of naming schemes of different races and such, but you can tell that there are definitely like very different spellings and such for names. None of them really draw your attention though.
None of them that could possibly be Dragonborn.
Looking how you are right now, it doesn't seem like it now.
Can I look at the first names?
Yeah. You walk over to the first names. None of them seem to be draconic in any way.
What do they say?
Brad Jr.
Well, the first name is Sam.
Mm-hmm.
What was the last name of Sam? You played Sam in one shot. What was Sam's last name?
Do you have the character sheet?
I don't have the character sheet.
Come up with it.
Jones.
Sam Regal. I don't know.
Wait, why does that sound like a thing though?
Because it's the guy from Critical Role.
Yeah.
Legit, that was the first thing that came to my head. I was like, I don't know where this is from, but
All right.
yes.
The first name is Sam Regal, followed by Matt Mercer. No, that's not what it is. First
Followed
one's
by
Sam Regal.
Ashley Johnson.
The second name appears to be scratched out. And then from there it continues on. And it's,
Okay, how about the most recent
That
names?
sounds kind of gross and also kind of good.
Wow.
You go back, and the most recent name is Theomir of Eo.
They forgot my nickname.
What's your name?
Gravewalker.
It doesn't fit on the thing.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna, and then just continue back to walking around.
What is going on in the room of books right now?
Oh, I grabbed up which one.
Okay.
So that's on me. Okay.
Yeah.
I take the necromancy ones to be like, oh,
It's
suppose that.
not organized very well.
And then I pretend to light them on
this
fire,
one,
put them in a pocket, and I
this
just
is the
take them somewhere
necromancy
else.
one, and then
Sounds good.
this is the room the other ones are out.
I think it's like the healing one too.
So these were in the
Yes,
the room,
yes.
like the
Wait, so-
special room, and then the necromancy ones were also, and then these were regular ones.
So for reading the books, what I'm going to do is for the next trip. So basically, like a week's worth of reading, because these are very big books, and they're kind of like academic discussions and research papers and stuff like that. So it's like it takes a while to kind of thumb through them.
First the abstract and the results, then.
Yeah. So in order to read them, I'm going to say you have to kind of do it on the journey to Arsenal, which is your guys' next location. For the rules that I have written down are for every, basically you can read one book per your intelligence modifier.
But if mine is have -1, then
So you
minimum
you
of one?
write a new book.
huh? Sorry. I would be a minimum of 1.
So you minimum one.
Okay.
Or max one book per week.
Minimum one. Per week you can make a roll on the book to see how much you can learn from it.
Okay.
And depending on the roll, I will give you different information.
Okay.
You might not always gain new information from the roll if it's not high enough.
So 1 book per week.
One book per week.
So I
Okay.
had a question about that. Could let's say if Artemis is studying one of the books, could I help her if I get a notebook and I take notes for her or something?
I'm gonna consider them separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fair.
So I can read 4 books at a time?
You can read 4 books in a week, not at a time.
Jesus.
Not even, yeah, that's a lot.
That's still fine.
Or you could read the same book 4 times if you roll a
So 2
one,
books 2 times.
a 1 and a 1 and a 1.
3 books,
You said
1 and 1.33 times.
Basically, you get to choose. So you make the roll and then you choose if you want to continue reading this book or move on to a different book.
so. You said so she could do 4 per week,
Yes.
and it's a minimum of 1, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you have a negative intelligence modifier,
Thank you.
Read
2
one
people
book
in
in a week.
If you have a -2 intelligence modifier,
Can I walk over
I
to
was responsible.
where they are? Or try to find them?
You can read books too then.
What's your intelligence?
My total is a 7, so it's -2.
Ow, okay.
you're gonna have trouble reading.
Yeah, well, that's why I was like, if we just have the more scholarly people in the group who do all the reading.
I can.
Zora knew she needed help with this.
So what are we all doing?
I'm walking over to where they are.
You walk over and you kind of walk into the room that you saw them go into. It's a hallway. But listening. This is probably the door.
I'll go open the door. Oh, hey.
Oh, it was the correct door. I thought you were gonna pull some fuckery.
I was thinking about it, but I'm just gonna let
Thank
the
you.
door.
Oh, I should have said something.
Just a minute.
Haha.
Oh my gosh.
It's the Duchess.
It's the jester.
Theomir walks out.
Oh god.
Ba-ba-ba-bum-bum.
1 minute. He walks out 1 minute later.
Wait, we're in a room right now? I thought we were in the tavern.
Yeah, you all went to the room where.
We went to go look at books.
Because if
Oh,
you
but I
got,
went back to Tutu.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you walk into the room with Demetrius, Wrath, and Arcus.
Alright, I'm gonna go walk back over there too.
Oh, so what are we all doing? Oh, hello. Nice to meet you. My name is Rhaegeryon.
Hi, Uzuk. Oh yeah, we met him. He was. Are you here? Oh, am I? Yeah, I said I came back over.
It'll take you a second. Somebody else.
Okay, it's taking a second. I'm not there yet.
We were on our way from the library and we hit a little snag. We decided to rescue him. He was in a bit of trouble, so he's just gonna hang around with us for a while.
Cool. That's good.
By the way, it would never fucking happen with this group because I'm naturally suspicious of
I just
everyone.
want to say, like, all of you would tend to fight any new character, but I feel like Zerk's just like, yeah. Is there a corpse lying around? No? Then we're good.
Honestly, that still might be okay. Is
So-
it back yet?
So,
You are now back into the room, yes.
Hey Demetrius, can I have my ring back again?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, so you might let you use it again.
Shit.
I have water walk. 10 willing creatures can walk.
Ooh.
We can walk on fire.
I feel like that was actually.
Yes. Can we walk on lava?
You would still take damage from how fucking hot lava is. But you wouldn't take the, like, 12 D10 lava damage or whatever it is. It's
We
something
can walk on
ridiculous.
it.
2,000 degrees.
Yeah. It's something
So,
ridiculous.
okay, so we still have that one quest we need to go on.
And we have to bury him.
Yeah.
So,
We haven't buried you yet?
no.
who
For
is
some reason, we're putting it off. We've been trying to do it forever.
But,
So let's do that.
who
He's
is?
saying like Febreze in there.
I'm trying to. Who is Theomir?
He.
Don't tell him. Doesn't matter.
by the way, question, where the fuck is this body?
Remember you said we mummified it and had it stored in the.
Mummified it.
Yeah.
That was
You wrapped it
great.
so it didn't.
He was mummified by the jester, but you guys like wrapped him up. But where did you put him?
Wasn't it like
Didn't we leave him in the Blackwood Company, like underneath the?
the
Oh, you're right.
Okay. So we just grabbed him and.
Wait, Theom, I saw that name on the wall. He was with you?
So fallen comrade.
Yeah, it's just
Wow, Theomir from heaven.
Yeah, I was gonna have
Where'd you get that?
Stay away from the jester's pocket damage.
Hey, you said that as he was dying, he saw his wife and children again. I'm assuming that's heaven.
And then he felt the rope pull him back.
You didn't say
said
that.
Yes,
You
you
were
did
yeah,
say that.
you were hanging from the thing, but we have to get your soul back. Don't even try to
Okay,
catch you.
so anyways.
So we gotta free all those souls that you took.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, you walk around.
yeah, so is there like
Also, why are
a
you flexing?
hill place here?
In the capital proper, you're not gonna find anything. If you start getting onto the road, you can definitely find a patch somewhere.
Cool. So I think that this is just me speaking. We should do the burial and then take off. Do you guys want to grab anything for the trip? Like, we can.
Can we
Do
rest
I-
a little bit?
Do I have to get like documentation to go with them as part of the Blackwood Company?
No, because Demetrius did it.
We just vouch for him.
Demetrius didn't officially join the group really until
Yeah.
like
He
2
was
sessions
like-
ago.
He was like, "Do you vouch for him?" I was like,
Yeah, we were all just kind of
everyone
like,
else said yes. I was.
So is Demetrius a formal member of the Blackwood Company at this point?
He is as formal as you can get without doing the trials. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, they accepted me.
we vouched for him.
But you
for the
just said
Blackwood.
as formal as you can get without doing the trials. So there's
It was
Formal
literally
member of
just.
the body.
So,
okay, I was gonna say, so there's another level?
so we
So
can
I'll do the
yeah.
fucking trials. We don't even need to do the
We
fucking
can
trials.
bury him and then just rest and then gather like the horses. And
Yeah,
stuff like
is
that.
there
Okay.
any other supplies we can need before we leave?
That's up to you guys. I don't really grab much.
I think we'll be okay. Unless, how are we doing on rations? Do we need it?
You guys have no rations.
Okay. Does the Black Book supply rations?
They typically will supply you with rations to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Based on this, it's about a 2.5 week to 3 week journey.
And that's their not round trip.
That's just there.
It's a 6-week total.
Yeah. And they'll give you enough rations for probably the first 3 weeks,
Okay.
but not on the way back.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we can go bury him. We can go get some rations, and then pack up and take a rest, and then head out.
I'm gonna cast Maze again.
Okay.
Right.
Nice. Did we like to take a rest?
Yeah.
You spend 10 minutes casting the spell, and it's you kind of do it outside, like in the barn area, and it's very quiet. The horses that are in there, for whatever reason, seem to like be kind of taken back by spell casting, and they're all just watching as the spectral horse rises from the ground and then forms and becomes, from the eye at least, just a real horse.
Alright, you wanna go bury him right now? Let's go.
So we go toward a little bit outside the city so we can bury.
I'm just gonna kind of follow them. Not like
Yeah.
secretly follow, I'm just gonna kind of. So,
Okay, wait.
this Theomir, what was he like?
Wait, you speak Abyssal, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Well,
get,
fuck you.
I'm trying to get something out of them.
Are we okay with him coming with us? Okay.
Do we have reason not to be?
I mean, he didn't know Theomir. This is a private thing for us.
Yeah, that's true. You tell him.
Okay.
No, I'll tell him. That's fine.
Well, I mean, I can tell him if you want me to.
No, I
Okay.
listen,
Rhaegeryon, yes.
so he was a close comrade of ours, and we kind of just want a moment alone. That's okay.
Understood.
We'll meet you back at the tavern.
Sure. I'm gonna back away.
Alright.
Can I go back to the tavern and then is there like a concierge or something I can go to ask about like how to join?
Here's our 12-step plan.
Yeah.
The bartender, Marshall, he kind of sits back. Well, I mean, you look the part, but we'll send a representative.
Oh Jesus, it's like a 24-hour fitness thing.
And you see a small figure walk out from behind the bar.
Is he drunk right now?
You drunk, big fella.
And you see him sway a little bit as he walks out. What do you say you needed?
And I kind of go like, oh.
Yes. Thanks.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? Name's
Rhaegeryon.
Listen.
I'm don't want to crush his hands. I'm just gonna give like 2 fingers.
And he goes out and grabs the 2 fingers, and you feel a very limp shake. He's like, Marshall said you want to join?
Yeah.
Let's go talk in the corner.
Okay.
And you begin walking to the corner, and it's gonna take a while for him to get there. Back to you guys. What's going on?
So do I have this stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like he was wearing most of his things still.
Okay.
So we'll say that he's for ease of it, he's kind of mummified here, and he's still wearing all of the clothes and he has all the equipment on, unless you take it off.
Yeah, I'll take it off.
Did you bring a shovel or something?
We'll just say that we brought it.
Just what?
A shovel.
Okay. You can go ahead and find a shovel. We'll say 3 copper for a nice shovel.
Okay.
Alright. The Black Book Company doesn't have a shovel we could just borrow?
Doesn't seem that there's a shovel on hand, no.
Okay, cool. So 3 copper.
Yeah.
We're really like spending money like in no okay.
Yeah.
So we were like
It's
super
copper.
that's true, but we were like so like
This is gonna bite us in the ass at one point.
okay, so yeah, do
I'm
that.
we have a shovel now.
Grab all the stuff.
We paid for it.
I make sure I grab like all of it though.
Like all these things?
All of these things,
Okay.
yeah.
It takes you probably about an hour to get enough out of the town.
Yeah.
To find patches of dirt. And it's like you walk through the mid-city, through the slums even, and as you walk into the slums, still controlled by the capitals here, there are a lot of like downtrodden homeless just kind of sitting around. Some of them panhandling, others going about what they're doing. You're at the point now where there's no stone on the ground, it's all dirt kind of through these houses. Another half hour will get you kind of to the break, and then from there on it's fields. It's very expansive. So I would say if you could end up just walking in the fields for another hour, but I would say there's a patch that isn't disturbed really.
Okay.
There's nothing growing there, so you can go ahead and walk that way.
Let's do that.
And you go ahead and set the body in the dirt next to wherever you plan on doing. And
Did you already get the equipment off of him?
I believe so, right? Take it.
Take all this one.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start digging.
Yeah. Start digging. We only got one shovel, so
Everyone's just watching you dig.
that's fine. Cool. So we did it like the body in.
Yeah, it takes you a little bit.
No.
It takes you a little bit to get there, but
So you now have a rapier, a hand crossbow.
I think I'm
dag.
gonna leave the crossbow.
Sure.
Like on top of the.
Studded leather armor, a dagger, a fishing pole, a crit potion, and a sending stone.
Okay. That's it.
And also my 3 rings.
Okay. Cool. Maybe you should.
and the gold.
I gave you the gold before.
Yeah. It's the party gold. Yeah.
Parties.
Way to honor his financially independent memory.
You would have wanted us to have it.
Yeah. Part of the ship, part of the crew.
You go ahead and lower the body in.
Yeah.
You all just watch.
Fire.
I'd silently pray to Istis about this.
I would pray to Sylvanus, but he did.
Supposedly.
Yeah. I would say evidently. Does anyone want to say any last words?
Just when you're done putting the dirt over, I'm gonna produce half a dozen red roses and just put it down. What?
Stop it.
Red
The red roses, they start growing out of your flower staff. You pick them and put them on.
Actually, I can have them grow right on it. I'll just do that.
Right here? Right over the corpse?
Yeah.
Sorry, right over the body of your friend's Naomi. The dirt gets packed in, the roses begin to grow.
Okay, I guess I'll just say something then. We all know Thamir had his flaws, but it's also agreed that he always had our back, and when shit went south, he was always there. We could always depend on him. So let's show some respect to the Gravewalker, a forever member of the. Anybody else want to say anything? Or that's cool. We can just end it with that.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna leave the crossbow and the dagger, and like with the dagger, I'm gonna trace Gravewalker.
Yep. You go ahead and right into the dirt.
And just leave it.
You leave the crossbow there, it's like a mark of grave, basically. Okay.
Instead of a cross, it's a crossbow.
Crossbow.
Wow.
Wow.
So poetic.
Wow.
Can I see
anything
your
else?
famous character sheet real quick?
Yeah.
Anything else would be
Do you want to know how much money it is?
That's it. I'm just
No.
standing there silently.
To write down like that.
You all head off.
Yeah, we go back to the tavern.
Another hour and a half walking.
Yeah.
And you're back in the tavern. It is getting late.
Am I talking to Toot still?
They walk in, and you are still talking to
About their
in 3 hours.
Bullshit membership plan? No. Okay.
And at this point, he has stopped talking about the membership plan. He hasn't talked about the membership plan for about 2 hours.
Oh, Jesus, what is he even talking about?
And then I got beat by these guys, and they brought me here, and I've been working this.
You were beaten by the guys that I came in with?
Yeah.
Why were they beating you?
I don't know. They dropped me in the water, and I was
do we
trying
hear
to
this?
smell. No, not
Okay.
yet. I was trying to dry my book, and then they beat me, and they took my books.
Can I ask you, how do you feel about the... I look around, do I see them?
Nope. What was that?
How do you feel about the drow?
The drow? What's
The
a
one
drow?
they call Wrath.
Wrath. He's got a cool name.
Yes, but how
He's the one who hit me with the stick, I think.
It's actually true.
I don't quite
I feel so bad for
remember
Tutu. We're so
much of this.
Do I get the feeling that he's drunk?
He's
Yes.
drunk as fuck.
Oh,
Yeah. He's small, but you can smell it.
From 6 feet up?
6 feet up. You're both sitting at a table now, and you're sitting in a chair, and he's sitting on the table. And these past 2 hours, you felt like awkwardly inclined to sit here and just listen to him talk.
Is there a little bit of both?
Definitely, yeah. And he's just rambling about kind of his problems.
Did I get any information about joining the Blackwood Company?
It was very incoherent. You heard about trials being a thing, but then he told you like he can't talk about the trials because they're a secret. And then he said something about a maze, and there was something else about like a drinking initiation. But that's all you got from there, and then he just unloaded all of his personal problems.
Most of which are caused by us.
Okay. Do I see them walk in?
As they walk in, it's like, yeah, I like those guys.
Hey, Tutu.
Hey.
I kind of look at you guys. I kind of look at you guys with this face like.
I was just talking to your friend, Ray.
Just call me Ray.
Ray.
Oh yeah, what have you been talking about?
He wants to join. It's talking about the membership and stuff.
Yeah?
Yep.
The past 3 hours?
Oh yes, that's where it started.
Yeah, he told us he wanted to join.
Yep.
Yeah.
He looks like he can do it.
Yeah, he can hold his own. We've seen him.
I kind of turn to you guys and I look at the stage. Did you say it was?
It's a stage. It's a small stage, maybe 6 feet by another 6 feet.
I say, what is that for?
That's for like the bards and stuff. They wanna play sometimes. You play an instrument?
No, just curious.
Oh.
Just curious.
Maybe like you play a drum? You look like you play a drum.
I dabbled.
We have some drums? I can pull out the drum. Get the drums, Marshall!
No,
Marshall,
no,
the drums.
please, no.
And Marshall was like, they're by the stage too.
I'll get you the drum.
No, don't.
Is it pretty busy in the tavern right now?
It's fucking dead right now. Oh god. Toot, he walks off the table.
Well, please don't.
But he has no coordination.
Does he fall?
And he gets there onto the ground.
I'm gonna turn to you guys and be like,
I'm gonna try to help him up. Oh, Tutu.
You help him up.
He's like, oh man.
Maybe you should go to bed, Tutu.
Maybe I should.
Yeah, you should go to bed.
I pick up my quarterstaff. I'll look at you.
Hey! What you doing?
I pat him on the back and cast Lesser Restoration.
And as you do so, he's like, oh, whoa.
What was that?
I walk away.
I just panic. Go to bed, Tutu. Go to bed.
I don't feel like I need to sleep.
No, you should go to sleep.
I feel great. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, Tutu, go to bed.
What time is it anyway?
It's bedtime.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh my god.
Persuasion? 11.
Maybe it's nap time. I'll go.
Okay.
Lay
We'll take a
down
nap.
for a little.
What time is it? Actually.
It's actually getting pretty late.
Okay.
Yeah, because just traveling through the capital's huge, and walking all of that takes a long time. And Tutu walks into one of the back rooms.
Alright. Well, I think I'm kind of done for the night.
Yep, I'm already heading to the roof.
I'm trying to realize.
Same.
And you go ahead and bed down for the night.
I'm gonna roll for sleep.
You ever sleep?
I rolled horribly.
Alright.
Sleep is a little difficult for you too.
Sleepy times.
Oh, 19 on one of them.
You keep feeling like you're a fish, and then you kind of wake up and you're like, no, I'm not a fish. And you go back to sleep. And you, for whatever reason, as you're sleeping, you feel like you're smaller. And you open your eyes, and it's like, what the fuck? I'm Milo right now. And then you close your eyes again, and you're back to being who you were.
That's so cute.
Then you go back to sleep. And Milo's just looking at you like, dude, what the fuck?
He's like, it's really my consciousness.
Stop waking me up. But you all find sleep. I assume you allow your new friend here bedding.
It's like a giant room with cots, right? Like
It's 4 beds, right?
Four cots. Typically, you would take 2 of them.
in one room.
4 cots in one room. Yeah, it's like bunk beds on the sides.
It's like 2 bunk beds in one room.
Is it like a stone floor or is it a wood floor?
It's wood floor,
Okay, I'm just gonna kind
which
of.
is not typical because most of the floors in this area are stone.
So I'm gonna assume if it's 4 cots, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Demetrius sleeps
Oh, she
in
said
the
outside?
stables, and Russ sleeps
But
on the roof.
I'm gonna assume I'm too big for the.
The ones on the bottom are definitely wider. Your feet will probably hang off the cot, but it's not the most comfortable sleep if you decide to sleep there.
Okay.
But it is definitely serviceable.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the blanket of it.
Okay.
I assume there's a blanket, or if it's like a fur type thing, I don't know.
It's more like a blanket.
Okay, and I'm going to kind of put it in the corner, and then kind of curl up and use my wings to kind of like cover myself.
Wait, so are you in the same room as us, or
Right.
are
No
you
one
in
told them
your
not to,
room?
so.
No one said.
Well, okay, so like we walk into the room. Do you?
Oh,
follow?
okay, yeah, let's just rewind this for a second. So, do you mind if I sleep here?
Yeah, sure.
So accepting.
I just walk in, hop on one of the top
Okay,
ones.
and I'm gonna kind of like walk over to the cot and be like, this is not gonna work. Take the blanket and then just do that.
So are you not sleeping on a bed?
No, because
Okay.
it's too small.
Okay.
Can you cover yourself with your wings?
Are you?
That's
are
what I
you,
said, I'm
Are
like-
you
Wait,
alright
can
there,
Milo get
Ray?
your wings?
What?
Are you alright there, Ray?
Occasionally, you wake up as Milo, and you're just looking at a sleeping dragonborn. You're like, wait a second, and then you go back to sleep.
No, I've not actually been sleeping in a room for the past couple of years, so this is a welcome change enough.
Oh, alright. Okay. Good night.
Cheerio.
And you all bed down for the night. Tomorrow, you will wake up and begin your trek to Arsenal. And with that, we're going to end the session. So,
Whoa,
thank you
15
all for
minutes early.
watching. We are, like I said at the beginning of the session, I am at the verification part of becoming affiliates, so we will be able to take subscriptions soon. Your subscription is vital to getting us a camera to look at the battle map, which we didn't have to use this session.
Also, cameras that can actually see people at the same time.
Also, cameras that can actually see people, what Tim said. And at some point, personal microphones would be amazing.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh boy. And then we're gonna need something else to make them all work. It's whatever, we're gonna figure that out. We'll tell you
And
when
that
we do.
headset, so I can actually hear the stream and not everything else, and like monitor sound.
But thank you all for watching. What's up?
Someone from a different stream started following us.
Oh, thank you for the follow.
Well, no, I don't know when they started.
Thank you for your follow, person.
I don't think they're in the thing, but
Damn it.
I know them from a different
Oh, also,
stream.
if we have enough cameras that the streaming computer's in front of me and not be in a camera.
Yeah.
That would be nice too.
Oh, that needs to be got plugged on the other one.
Hey, thank you. Thank you everyone for watching and rolling with us. We're having fun, I hope.
We will stop trying to commit robberies. And
That's just
Lazura makes no
literally just like lost.
Speak for yourself.
Stop lying.
We need to continue robbing.
Please, people behind the camera, walk out in front of the camera, so you're not just voices. Tim I'm pointing at A side. Tim has the long hair. Connell has the not so long hair.
Not so.
I'm thinking of it the other.
Yeah, they can see you.
Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And we will get back to you next Tuesday, probably at 8:30.
probably not though. No.
Probably not, though. Probably a few minutes
Hey,
later.
you can be optimistic.
Ish. Yeah, thereabouts.
But without further ado,
Roll
Honorary
on.
Kobe.
Oh, okay. Alright.
He doesn't do the same thing every time though.
He changes it up slightly because
Yeah.
Pick something similar.
Rolling stones.
There we go.